Alrighty, hello every folks. So if you're just rewatching the recording here, I'm just about to give it a minute here to kind of like let some folks show up and all that kind of thing, and still trying to figure out a couple minor technical issues in the background. So it's going to be silent for just a moment. Alrighty, hello folks that just turned up here. So I'm just testing a couple things real quick just to make sure that we're all good to go here. Last time kind of noticed after the fact that there were a bunch of random issues that definitely probably should have sorted out sooner. So, there's that. Anyways, hello to Rokamura, Jim, Warren, and Ains. I think that's how you pronounce that. But yeah, so this is a Reach the Future. So I don't know. I'm assuming most of y'all have heard of this one. If at just kind of in general or from last video, wouldn't really know for sure. But yeah, no, this mod is freaking amazing. Now that being said, I do want to see more stuff in it. So I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show off the show off the intro cutscene to what's going on, and then just go load the kind of chapter 1 save file type situation that I've got going on there. Just to kind of skip the tutorial fights, because realistically there isn't too much crazy going on in those tutorial fights, but I want to see more of this dang game. So, alright. First check, is the audio okay? What kind of ogre battle is this? This is the time when there was too much of a time paradox. You see, one day Matsuna was going and kind of obsessing over his cats, and well, unfortunately, one of them decided to just kind of wander his way into the dryer. Now, obviously, due to the insane cat energy and the whole immortality thing, the dude kind of exploded, kind of created a bit of a black hole, and well, I mean, hell, you showed up and I mean, that's kind of what happened to the local rat population anyway. I'm not sure why they decided to sort of form up into their own society. Anyway, long story, very, very short. Time paradox happened. Somehow this happened. We're all good to go. At some point, there were two hands attempting to do a high five. One of them flipped upside down. We just don't really question these things, I don't think. Anyway, so can anyone confirm if the sound is okay by any chance? Audio's good, not too loud. Okay, that is a good thing for once. Also, one absurdly minor downside about this particular mod, and why I was resetting it earlier, there actually is no, there's no, like, looping thing in the intro, so it's just, like, dead silence if I were to leave it here right now. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and hit a new game here to start off with this, this amazing cutscene that's way better than it has any right to be. Let's see, do you like the Disgaea series? I have played a decent bit of Disgaea 2 and some of the weird spin-offs on the PSP. So like the ZHP and whatnot, and yeah, in general, I really like the idea that's going on there. I can't say I'm super nuts about the series in general, but they're really darn good fun. Alright, let's see. Yeah, wouldn't have been possible without the work and support of so many, and they do mean many. The credits list on this thing is frickin' long. So, alright, they're going to go ahead and bring all of those up real quick. I'm going to double-check one thing off in the background here. Hopefully it's not messing with anything too badly. If you see the chat box flash a little bit, that's just a weird OBS thing. Where if I click on anything else, it gets very mad. So there's that. It's just going to disappear for a second. It'll be right back. I just want to make sure that the stream and all that is working fine. Let's see here. How do I do the thingamajig here? Let's see. We go to... Where's the stream stuff? I know, I'm bad at streaming. I apologize. These things happen. Let's see. We got the live thing right here. And is it going to show its stuff correctly? There we go. Okay. There we go. Now it's showing up correctly. Let's get back to it. See, I bet this time Paradox's denim and the tarot cards fall. Exactly. That's why you never pick stuff up off the ground. That's what I keep telling the kids, but they're like, no, I just gotta pick up this M&M, gotta pick up these coins, gotta pick up these tarot cards, and lo and behold, stuff's just disappearing left and right. Now, like I said, we're just gonna look at the intro cutscene real quick, so we're gonna leave the default stuff here. As soon as there's the option to load, I'm gonna go load into the, like, just past the tutorial save file, so that we can see more stuff, because the tutorial is a little bit of a, kind of a just like standard FFT. There's a few fights that just take you a bit of a hot minute. Let's see, just use a shaman, no archers. Well, that's going to be a ban right there. I kid. But seriously, check out this freaking cutscene. What is this? Like, seriously, since when are there action scenes in freaking FFT, you know? Try to play this on a PS1, the system just explodes. Hi there, Lord Krima. Appears you did. And yeah, I guess these guys are just like fighting some eldritch abomination or some such. Yeah, we're just showing the kind of the intro to the whole thing, and then we're just skipping the tutorial to get on to the game in general. Because this mod is just like a little bit of everything. It's so bizarre to see how much stuff they added in here. Also, that guy's living the I forgot to equip breach on my archers experience. Yes, we're gonna defend the reborn archers, and we're gonna make fun of them in the same dang paragraph. It's fine. So yeah, he just sort of turns everyone into a stone. He's like, yeah, it's good. I'm tired. Let's go ahead and win now. Use this harp thing. And then he explodes. And there they go. Neat. And then I guess he just sort of moves in the background. Now, full disclosure, I have no freaking idea who any of these people are as of yet, or what this has to do with anything. So the overall shtick of this mod is basically you are, I guess, in some kind of bizarro time loop of just every FFT mod ever created. See monsters to use as your army? Again, I don't know the full story of anything. You are basically playing as a Dart from Legend of Dragoon, but also your team members are, well, hell, you'll see in just a second. It's like, again, this is just basically a weird fever dream of just every kind of mod asset that they could find, apparently. Supposedly, this is like some time after FFT, so there's a guy over there that looks like Thunder God Sid, but I guess also kind of isn't, but also might be, but also I have no idea. Why are you asking me? I'm no expert on this thing. I just think it looks cool. Let's see. That's one that this guy has on the side is all the monsters. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Got quite a decent bit of them, and a good bit of them, by which I mean one exact specific line of them explode. So that's fun, too. Let's see, a new sprite art. Yeah, so this, as far as I can tell, I'm sure some of it was kind of new for the mod specifically, but a good bit of it I recognized from a bunch of other mods over the years. Like, somebody showed me like an Ashley Riot sprite that just didn't really get used for anything that got used here, a Dart Feld sprite, which is like whatever random character from whatever random RPG you want in here is probably in here, redone in some way as far as I can tell. But again, we'll get to that as we get to there. Like, we see the main kind of secondary character over here is Denim, except he's also like a Street Fighter character. So there's that. So there's Mr. Tactics Ogre, but not really. As far as the different party classes, these are your basic classes, as weird as they may seem. There's Dart, who's not Dart. Like I said, we'll just reload the previous save file here, because we're not redoing these intro cutscenes and all that. Basic shtick here. You got your usual multi-faction setup of everybody's losing to the totally not, giga fascists way over there, and they're forced to make a deal with the devil kind of situation. So that's kind of what we're seeing in this intro. Wherein there's the giant group that everyone knows are assholes, but they got to make a deal with the assholes, and they are going to attempt to do so. And everyone knows it's a terrible idea, but what are they going to do? The standard setup to every medieval conflict ever. Alright. Yeah, so Guy is totally not denim. But yeah, we'll see all of those in just a second. By the way, I say Street Fighter character, but he's also basically running Pokemon Punch moves. That moment right there is probably the only negative I've had to say about the entire mod in general so far, like off of the many things I've seen that they've added to it, which was just the occasional anime trope, but whatever, it is what it is. Alright. Anyway, as the dragging line thingy does its thing, we'll go ahead and load a save file and go from there. Alright. So like I said, first couple fights, I'm just gonna go ahead and let's see, which one was it? I want to say it was this one. So this is like an hour later. Okay, we're just skipping tutorials. First couple fights, there's not really anything going on. So here's the general shtick of what happened so far. You got this guy. Everybody went into the woods. They went and they punched a bunch of goblins. All right, cool. Anyway, from there, you met this lady who was running away from the previously mentioned assholes, and then you proceeded to punch some of said assholes at a dock. Anyway, that's where the story is so far, and we'll go ahead and continue. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the starting classes, because that is the real purpose of this tutorial here, because it's freaking hilarious. So, obviously, he starts off with his usual totally not Squire class, but the main character specializes in combo moves. So he's basically Ashley Riot. Is the shtick with this guy, where just attacking multiple times is his whole deal here, and all of his stuff has very specifically cool-sounding names, and I want to say these must be a reference to something. Everything feels like it's a reference to something. Again, in general, the design philosophy seems to be played every RPG in existence and then just kind of ate way too much bad cheese right before bed, and then that was it. It's like, let's see, fade into the background to avoid detection, does not fade when additional moves are made this turn, so like that would be Secret Service over there. Or what's Nova about? Wound enemies with a small eruption of energy has a chance to strike twice, on top of already being a thing that can strike twice. Or Light Spear just basically allows you to blind and then attack at the same time. And then another one is a knockback that, again, will allow him to act multiple times per round. So, okay, that's his whole shtick. Secondary unit over here, wherever I can find him, is going to be Guy. So his whole shtick is, again, he's running Pokemon moves. He's got Brick Break, Reversal, Focus Punch, Bullet Punch. I don't know what Boozy Brawl is. I feel like that must be... that feels like it must be a reference to something else. But, let's see. Send Mighty Blows a good distance. Focus Punch, Winder for a massive swing. So they don't work exactly the same, but oh well. Punch right through magical defenses. So Brick Break, yes please. Alright, so he already has counter, also has a thing for cards. So defeating a monster converts it into a triple triad card and removes it from the battlefield permanently. Because yes, this game has mini-games, because of course it does. Also, hi there, Mr. Cow. Haven't seen you show up in one of these in... Actually, you've showed up at 100% of them. Anyway, that 100% continues. Light Spear Cannon. Exactly. That's a Tale of Arts? Okay, I haven't played the Tales of games, It's funny how often that's come up in the course of this last week, actually. Yeah, haven't played the Tales games. Alright, next up, Sailor Lady. Yeah, she sings sea shanties. Say that's 10 times fast. Let's see, don't act and don't move. Wait. Excuse me? Yes? Sailor's Hitch. Apparently she's just throwing out marriage proposals at everybody. All right. That's pretty neat. All right. And next up, as far as the basic dudes go, let's cover our basic classes. So your your basic soldier guy, I'm assuming, is a partially repurposed Snake from Journey of the Five, because he's got the rations ability over here, which, I mean, yeah, Pearl out emergency food, the taste is not great, cancels out dead, so brings you back from the dead with rations. Totally not the Snake move, guys, but yeah, no, again, this is like a seemingly combination of everything ever, so yeah. Next up, we have the Adept, who is basically your kind of caster sword here. So, yeah, they're pretty much a Omnicaster of sorts. We got Immolate, Icicle, Lightning Charge, Magic Mirror, Earthbind, Reaper, whatever that is. Let's see, forcing him to be stuck in time. That's just, yeah. So they're a mix of like the Oracle, Black Mage, White Mage to some degree. They're in many ways closer to a kind of classic kind of Tactics Ogre Warlock or something. Or not Warlock, but Siren or something. Anyway, Icicle sounds cool. We'll just go ahead and slap that on there. Let's see. Kind of reaction-wise, we got Distribute. So whenever HP is maxed, HP is shared. Regenerator does exactly what Regenerator always does. Float. And then probably the funniest one here is the Party Smith, who's here to throw items at people. So they got like clown buzzers, banana peels, fake money, a piano drop, Jack in the Box, Groucho glasses, noisemakers, party favors, pie, squirt flowers, balloon animals, ring toss, which this felt very FFTA for that particular thing. And they heal people with bloodborne vials. So there's that too. And yeah, so basically a mix of the chemist and the kind of like FFTA trickster kind of deal. Not trickster. What the hell were they? Not the gadgeteer. What was the clown one? Does anybody remember? It's been a hot minute. Let's see. This mod has triple triad. Apparently it has other minigames as well, too. Let's see. Party Smith. She's big and good with knots. Well then. That's got implications. See, my electronic situation has gone down the drain. Only internet is from my phone and hard to keep live. Mine can die instantly from 100% battery. Can't access my email or stream. It's just been toilet. Yeah, it... know how it goes, man. It gets rough sometimes. So, yeah, hopefully that improves. Life's gonna be like that sometimes, unfortunately. Hopefully it improves sooner than later, you know? Anyway. Let's go ahead and continue on here. So, let's see. Shop-wise, let's see. Is there anything different about the shop here? I don't think there was, aside from the fact that you're going and just meeting some dude at a market. But yeah, butter knives, canes, crossbows, lyres, farmer hats and clothes, and hiking boots. Let's see. Boots are made for walking. Alright, whatever. Let's get a couple of them. Yeah, +1 move, +1 jump. Feels like everybody should be rocking those right now. We don't have any evasion items anyway. I know without any question I'm going to be popping some evasion items as soon as I get them. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Can you equip a shield by any chance? No. Alright, go ahead and get some hiking boots for you. Should the brawler get them too? Sure should. Anyway, he won't. Let's go ahead and move on here. I don't know if we'll run to a random fight here. Yes, actually we will, because... Right, this is... Okay. Check this scene out. This is why I saved here when I was going and doing the preview thing before. Because I think this is exactly what I think it is, which is the perfect way to explain anything, don't question it. Let's see, will the Party Smith also happen to have throw items? Yes, they do. Let's see, Memo, which is tied to everything, and it wasn't me anymore, and I don't have the old phone number, and I just want to send it. Yeah. I think everyone's run into that at least once before. Absolutely sucks when that happens. Alright, so, let's take a quick second to appreciate this cutscene, okay? So just look at what they do here. And I know it's weirdly specific, but there's a reason that I brought this up for the preview video, too. So, you know, you get your usual getting stopped by bandits in the woods and all that kind of thing, right? So you got the usual fight about to start thing. And this is simple, but I just love it. So the fight starts. They get upset at the fight starting. They interrupt the fight starting. I know it's simple, but I love the little loving attention to details, you know? See, butter knife doesn't sound like a very effective weapon. I'm sure there's at least, like, 10 John Wick scenes to back that particular thing up being wrong. And then they finally go into the fight itself. Just love that. Again, everything about this mod is super weird and bizarre, and I just love it. So let's go ahead and continue on. Now, you can't really grind up to this point. I don't think you actually can even access any rando fights up to this point. And this particular team, I had gone and collected some extra skills on them by means of, you know, collecting crystals and all of that. It's why I wanted to skip the intro fights. I don't know how actually difficult this mod is. It feels like one of those ones that's made to actually be more fun than, you know, suffering-inducing, but hey, you never know, you know? Alright, let's see. When we get no tolls, when we get no rolls. So not even a John Wick thing. Look what goes down in prisons. Fair point. Fair point. People died of plastic knives. It is what it is. Let's see. Neat. So Party Smith straight up is like chemist with a wider variety of buildings. Yeah, they're like a mix of the chemist and basically all of the clown characters from the like TA and TA2 kind of line there. All right. Break beast. What was beast again? Everybody at target. Always knock him back. Okay, so that's rush. Alright, so trick so far, obviously, because it's kind of the trick always in all of these things, is just kind of rush everybody down for the moment. Nobody's stuff is terribly crazy so far, so... Anyway, do we have any AoEs? We do kind of have AoEs. I think this might result in a successful AoE, I'm not sure. Didn't high roll that, unfortunately. Anyway, let's see. I believe she's got she's the one with the heal here, right? Heals MP. Alright, heal MP, not going to be terribly useful. Let's see. Okay, don't go over there. First of all, what is she even equipped with? She's equipped with nothing. I probably should have equipped her with something. I believe she's actually a mandatory character, so we can just kind of use her as bait for the time being. But we can go ahead and see about, let's see. I mean, surprisingly, that'll allegedly work. Let's see if she actually manages to pull it off. I don't know why the targeting on that is a little bit funky, but who knows. Anyway. You do seem to do more from the back, from what I understand. So we got that as well, so let's do Tactics Combo. Let's do Nova here. No, that's just the range one. Sonic Thrust is going to do 5. That is just plain not going to work. Darkness, though. Guaranteed darkness plus a stab, and then you can attack on top of that. So, again, his whole thing is combo attack, so his entire tactics combo thing is basically just free actions. Alright, let's see. Soldier guy, I think I had you with a crossbow, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. So let's go ahead and move you over this way. It's a beast based on the description, is also from the Tales of. Yeah, again, if there's a reference to something like Tales or, you know, Saga or any of them, realistically, in most cases, I probably won't know. Like, I play a hell of a lot of things, and I know a lot of things in the genre, but there's just some stuff that I don't. So there's that. All right. What's our timing looking like? Let's see. How much damage does it? 26. I mean, he's going to be no-acted, but realistically, we want to get this lady over here dealt with. So, if I can remember to stop trying to use the analog stick to switch the camera, because I'm thinking it's reborn, apparently. I'm going to go ahead and move you over here. Icicle you. Total overkill damage, but if it works, it works. Okay, she apparently literally just sings about knots and then ties somebody into a knot from a long distance. I'm not even going to question how that works. Just roll with it. Alright. Someone has to use hammers? Understood. Sonic Thrust is also a Tales of move? Well, then I suppose it is. See, she's an FF14 scholar. Add that to the pile of stuff that I have not played. Which, speaking of, kind of oddly specific. But, you know, occasionally you end up hearing about and or being given the kind of ability to go, you know, try out different indie projects or whatever else whenever making videos or whatnot. And I gotta say, it's a little bit weird how occasionally you'll see situations where you pretty much have direct comparisons between two things that are right next to each other, and like you don't even want to make anything about the worst one because it just feels like that much of a blowout, you know? But let's see. I'm sure they added a Seventh Saga or Phantasy Star reference somewhere. I mean, if they add any variety of the worker line here, maybe we just go ahead and count that. All right. Let's see. What a naughty girl. See, considering the basic magic class is somewhat versatile, I wonder if there's a full-on sage class in this. Probably, from what I've heard, the like the actual class list is pretty insane. That being said, I feel like we're probably a little bit screwed here. I feel like, yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something here. I'm looking for his ranged move. I'm thinking about Spear Guy that's currently feeding the worms. Let's see. Let's go ahead and see if they can go ahead and break this lady next. It's kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting how she has to be at close range to cast the thing and then runs away at long range like she's actively fighting with ropes. It's actually pretty cool. Let's see, what does this do? That wakes somebody up. Ring toss adds slow. He does have rations. Okay, so rations are what we need right here. So rations seem to be like, this feels like one of those ones where sandbagging is definitely going to be a thing. So you should try FF14. The free trial just got extended to all of the 3rd expansion. And I barely have enough time to cover like a third of the indies that get sent my way. I have no time for another MMO. Like it's just one of those things, you know. Let's see. Drowned enemy and smelly bile, magic faith. Okay, all well and good, but what is actually? It does actually poison. Okay, this actually probably might be worthwhile, especially combining with something like Don't Move over here. Oh wait, hang on, just a second. Okie dokie, and back. Alright, so, let's go down the list here. Rations reviving's pretty well, not very strong in the healing, but handy for just 5 MP. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it feels like this is one of those ones where you're never really meant to win a direct fight. Like, it definitely feels like one of those mods where you're kind of expected to... Like right now, the way I'm looking at this is, like, that lady over there is about to bleed out. So I probably want to move over here to this tile to attempt to kind of block them off. I forget exactly how tile blocking works. Like, I don't know if they can jump over the unconscious unit over there. I think they can. It's like in Tactics Ogre, they wouldn't be able to do that. But like, for example, I want to see about maybe blocking that guy, but at the same time, you know, would be good to go have our Shanty Singer back up. To attempt to use that 5 MP and that revive to maybe waste one of their turns. Hopefully use her to, you know, get more turn economy out of this whole situation. But really, you know, that kind of like just barely making by with the skinnier teeth kind of situation definitely feels like it's what they're going for here. Anyway. Let's see. They got to do Blue Mage like that. That's, wait, hold on. Blue Mage is a limited job in FFT, so it can't party up with people normally. Interesting. Wait, how does that work? It's kind of weird. All right. Let's see. She's got the poison. Let's see. Basics-wise, she's got throw stones. Okay, yeah, you're just gonna go ahead and bile over here. You may notice also many of the abilities, like right here with the caster class, she's actually not using MP for this stuff. So. Either way, it's kind of weird to see your skill units using MP, but your actual casting abilities, to some extent anyway, don't appear to be using them. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, there we go. We'll go ahead and use that to burn him through his turn. We're going to go ahead and use our main character for their double hit ability to quickly rush stuff down. Additionally, we're going to use this guy for both blocking and, you know, whatever kind of damage is possible, theoretically. I didn't really bring much on him. That is 100% on me. You know, it is what it is. I feel like maybe attacking there would just be a bit of a waste of a thing. Like, right now, our whole purpose is just to break down their turn economy as much as possible, so I'm just going to try to... thing is, let's see. So he's going to counter skill, right? So if he gets knocked back, I mean, that's just a cliff right there. So he might do additional damage when going and hitting this guy into the cliff, but he also might get knocked backwards. But at the same time, he is partially blocked if he just attacks him here, and he won't counter punch, so I figure that's probably the best way to go right here. Lady on top just got out of her don't move. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Alright. These guys are just giving you the business right now, but no, like, every map has been like this. That's why I skipped the first two maps. Because it feels like all of them are just you barely making it by, you know, just barely hoping for low rolls. Like right there, we've had 3 cases of units surviving on low rolls so far. And hopefully we can kind of keep that going. They go for him. That's perfectly fine. They go for the charge. That's what crossbow guy is there for. That if he gets a charge off with a crossbow, you know, attack from the back and all of that kind of thing. Let's see. Apparently he's burned through a lot of his resources. Like, this guy is by far the biggest damage dealer in the team, but currently he's having a little bit of trouble, as you do. Basic heals are still just the basic, you know, basic 30 there. I don't know if counter skill applies to spears, like the Sonic Spear skill there. I don't know, but it's worth taking a look. And like I said, we'll probably end up going and redoing this team a little bit if we end up getting as thoroughly crunched as it's looking like we will here. There we go, he does that. Now, is he going to counter that? No. Because presumably it's like spear only or something, who knows. Anyway, dude's almost dead. Alright, now you need to get anybody back up on their feet. Like, for example, we go over here, we do our rations, we've got 2 more revives left. She's probably going to be the more useful one just because she can go and disable somebody. Not to mention she can give MP back, which lets our stabby guy do more stabby. Alright. Let's see. Let's see. They're basically made the Blue Mage so that it's side content that you can do with other characters doing the same content. Blue Mage works like it does in all previous games. You learn specific skills from certain fights, and they can mix and match ability. Okay. With a full spell book, they can be made to DPS, tank, and healer all at once. You can have 20, I think, total of the 120 total spells equipped at any given time. So you change them around depending on circumstances. Ergo, they're limited to solo or unsynced parties. They can only give certain rewards. I mean, granted, I'm looking at it like, wait, where's the downside? But then again, I'm always thinking like, hey, it's an MMO. Let's play this solo. So, all right. Okay, so right now we have this one that's about to bleed out. Currently, as far as turn economy goes, we have one unit that's actually down. Everybody else is still able to act. I'm thinking, given how the turn orders worked so far, and especially given that her stuff can be near instant. Let's see, Rufus. Which one's Rufus? I think Rufus is the guy that's blocked, isn't he? You are, in fact, Rufus, the blocked guy. Okay. So I'm thinking we go ahead and move her over there. We go ahead and icicle him, which frees up everybody else to go do other stuff, presumably. So we'll go ahead and give that a little bit of a go. I don't know. As far as MMOs and stuff, I still think, even though it may be dated in many ways and all that, I still think my favorite is still the old RuneScape and such there. It's just, it's such a weird game. Like, none of it makes any sense, and that's exactly what you're there for. Let's see. So you have a sweet spot for blue enemy or enemy skill in FF7. Understandable. Take Mantra Magic and FFTA. Swap a target's HP and MP. Good for tanky boys. Very true. See, it's kind of hard to explain to outsiders. Makes sense in the context of the game. Yeah, the only downside to that whole thing is just that the game is, like, thousands of hours long, so... Like, at this point, it's too late to get into it. Whether or not it's, you know, free or not. It's not a price thing. It's a, like, that's an amount of time that's just not happening right now kind of situation. This guy just had his turn. He's over there trying to act again. How rude. Alright, that was a little bit rude. Anyway, okay, that's bad timing. They ended up stealing that crystal after all. Yeah, really the problem is I need more basic soldier skills on these people. Like I said, this team kind of sort of sucks, but as of right now, I mean, we're not currently on a complete death timer outside of those two. So theoretically, there's still plays here, just not very good ones. Like right now, he would need to wait for that guy to bleed out. And then once said dude bleeds out, then he'd be able to go collect that thing and then revive some dudes, you know, that kind of shtick. Downside, obviously, of this whole situation is that he didn't end up getting a hold of, well, anything, quite frankly. He never got a hold of his revive items or anything. She never ended up getting poisoned. But I don't like specifically relying on RNG stuff, but I did forget one of the rules that I learned when first going through this, which is that you wound, you don't try to kill. So the old FFT thing of if a unit is wounded, you just kind of leave them alone, they're going to run away. You definitely need to be paying more attention to that. Let's see. So downside is Captain 80, okay, I have no idea what that's all about. See, RuneScape's still going. Yeah, RuneScape is still going, and it's still freaking amazing. Like, to this day, I still really enjoy going through and just watching the weird, bizarro, like, challenge runs and whatnot people come up with. Like, the rule sets that you can make work in that game are disgustingly fun. You see people that are going and just, like, region locking themselves to some, like, ass end of nowhere. Like, I wonder if I can just use only this stuff that's in this random fishing shack that's in the middle of this icy tundra and just somehow survive here for a year. It's like, yeah, somehow, yes. There's enough mechanics in the game to make that happen. It's just fun, dude. Let's see. I'm not the best person to say length of time. I don't worry. I have no idea what you're talking about anyway. Whatever you say might as well be gospel. Any darn ways. Alright, now let's actually do the thing with actually setting the team up. Alright. So, things learned in that one. Movement range didn't matter as much, so we're going to save that money for later. But, we do know that we need to be wounding rather than anything else, which is probably why Bile is the spell that you start with, considering that one tick of poison, or rather, one run of poison could very well put somebody into running away range pretty much immediately. We need to, well, I say immediately, more like you can avoid them and just kind of keep that damage economy going. Let's see. You don't have rations. You that stuff. You can do rations, so that's what I should have done. So rations are going to be way more helpful on her. You learn rations as well. We're not going to be exclusively sandbagging, but this is just for safety's sake. He comes with Bile as well, so we'll go ahead and set Bile under his... Wait, was that what that one is? I suppose it would help looking in this menu, huh? So fundamentals, adept job command. Okay. So either way, basic magic stuff. Poison and rations seem like the go-to for the moment. Especially since you can use it too. Everybody get poison. We're all about them war crimes. Brick Break didn't help us very much. Bullet Punch, however, probably would be amazing. With Strength Battery, moving exactly one space increases PA by 1 and reduces current HP by 1/4 of max. Moving more than one space decreases PA by 1 and results in no HP loss. Alright, so you need some way to heal, and then you're going to be a god. For the moment, though, Bullet Punch. And more poison, because we cannot have enough poison. Yeah, these guys were completely not set up or prepared for this whatsoever ever. Alright, let's see what else is here. Deals 25% of target's HP and damage. Could be handy. Path to victory must be carefully planned. Okay. So CT plus 15. Is this her CT plus 15? I assume it's them. We got a quick thing. Let's see, 25%. Let's see, legs. Move through water with no movement penalty. Handy and all, but maybe not so useful here. Let's see. Heals MP. So this one is basically the singing MP boost from what I recall from all of it, and honestly it's enough to make me consider just switching over to move plus 1 here. Because I'm thinking move plus 1, we keep her just kind of running around giving MP, give everybody their revives back, just considering everybody's got revives and poisons now. You know, could be pretty good. Maybe throw some extra poison out there for damage. Why not? Faith-wise, her faith is crazy high. His faith is... This dude's basically atheist. You don't care. You're a mix of both. And then this one's doing pretty good. Basic soldier guy, surprisingly good at everything. And Mr. Hero guy, you know... I kid you not, the thing that sold me on trying this mod in the first place was they're like, hey, here you go, you got a main character that's a spear user. And they do the whole combo thing from Vagrant Story. I'm like, wait, what? I want that game. How do I play that game? Let's see. Alright. Let's see, love watching a YouTuber called Settled on RuneScape. He does a Talisman challenge. Yeah, Settled was also the guy that locked himself in a frickin' swamp for like 3 years. That run was amazing. Actually, the run was so dang good that they actually have a broken crossbow dedicated to the guy. They added a permanent drop of a broken crossbow, because that guy and his community spent months doing a bunch of like clue scrolls and things like that to get a super rare drop of a rune crossbow, and then, well, they had to do this really weird route. So they were doing what's known as an Ultimate Iron Man, which basically means that you can't bank your items. You're basically doing an MMO locked to a particular region, and you can't bank your items. What you carry on you is all you ever have. So this means when you die, you are starting from scratch, more or less. And you only have 28 inventory slots, or 28 bag slots, and then whatever's in your inventory. Aside from anything that you can find some other way to store. Like, for example, many times Ultimate Iron Man accounts will go and build up their houses specifically so that they have, like, you know, you get a full outfit, you can store it in a wardrobe. It's like, it turns the whole game into this crazy puzzle. But yeah, in that particular case, he ended up having I don't think it was a disconnect. They just basically had a rough day and ended up getting sniped by a random zombie. And so after spending months getting this dang crossbow and then like being right at the finish line for that particular challenge run, yeah, they they died. They lost all their stuff. They started from scratch. Anyway, so let's see. Like what they changed with the party window sprites to the little boomer charm. Yeah, they changed so much about this. So yeah, War Crimes, this isn't RimWorld. Oh no, it's a Matsuno game. It's worse. So yeah, oh no, here he goes about poison again. You have an unhealthy love of poison. It is unhealthy. That's the point. That's why I love it. It makes the health go away. It's not Coffee's fault that SE makes debuffs OP. I mean, yeah, especially in Reborn. Like, that's the thing. Like, one thing that I've gotten in comments for months is like the same comment of people starting off in like chapter 1 or 2 of Tactics Ogre, and they're like, oh, you know, I tried poison and it's doing, you know, the same damage as my melee guys. You know, this is so useless. Why would I ever do this? And it's like, okay, so right from the get-go, you're attacking 3 times at the cost of 1 attack. But also for the other thing that like continues scaling up, and then, you know, it's like, I don't understand what the value is of this thing that gets rid of like more health than any of my characters even have over the course of a single round. This is worthless. How dare you give that advice? Like, dude, are you kidding me? What's this? Emulate. Set a small area ground ablaze. Well, that sounds like fun. Okay, that's actually pretty solid. I'm surprised he hasn't been using it so far. Anyway, whatever. 97% chance to hit. I don't know how that affects his debuff odds. Does anybody know with secondary effects on spells, does hit chance force a roll for the debuff, or is it a secondary background roll for like poison in this case? Because like his faith sucks, but he's got 97% chance to hit, and I don't know if the debuff chance is a separate roll. As far as I understand, this should still use the same kind of mechanics and whatnot. So anyway, if anybody knows, please let me know. This seems like a very Mr. Cow would probably know kind of situation. Anyway, she's going to sing about MP. In the meantime, you are going to go this way. And we're going to do this thing where you just get stabbed a bunch. So you're going to go ahead and do this, do Light Spear, do that. Light Spear seems pretty freaking OP for a starting ability, by the way, because it's guaranteed darkness. Like, they give you a bunch of very specifically overpowered stuff and then throw you in pretty dire situations. Let's see. War Crimes EA. Let's see, Party Smith uses the Mime Sprites. Yep, they are, I mean, they're basically a drug dealer, so it is what it is. Let's see, charge attack. We might be able to throw some numbers out here. That's going to get blocked. That's going to get blocked. What about you? Can you target this guy? It's going to cost him MP, but given their positioning right now, this might be the way to go. So he's going to charge attack right here. Honestly, basic soldier guy here is probably the most overall useful member of the party, but we'll get to everything else later. Alright, Bile, just make more stuff happen. Let's see, I'm not sure in the case of FFT. Yeah. I don't know either. Anyway, everybody gets their MPs back. That's what she's there for. They get their MP back too, but that's alright. Alright, more Bile. Anyway. Because, yeah, I remember faith-based shenanigans was apparently why Rafa, or was it Rafa or was it the other guy that sucked so hard in the original one? I remember one of them just could never hit for some reason. Let's see, also, no, most of the stuff in Matsuno games is normal compared to RimWorld's Insanity. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. In RimWorld, of course, obviously, you know, you're going and replacing people's parts or whatever else, but think about it. Are you not really doing the same in something like Tactics Ogre? Then it's like, here you go, look, I need you to take this weapon, I need you to go stab that fairy over there, and then, you know, they get their soul sucked into this fairy. So now you have this fairy that just runs around terrifying people because it doesn't know what else to do. He was a Terror Knight originally. And then you decide, hey, buddy, you know what? That last prank was hilarious. Here you go, hold this whip for a second. And then suddenly he gets his entire soul sucked into a whip, at which point, you know, you go and give that to a completely different fairy that you pranked into that particular situation. I mean, in general, it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like there's plenty of potential war crimes already going on there. You know, stuff gets pretty screwy. You know, there's pretty much a permanent undead apocalypse going on in the background of every Matsuno game. Some more direct than others. If you've ever played Crimson Shroud, like the one of the three main characters, when you're reading about the backstory, they're like, oh yeah, no, this guy basically was put into this situation where like he was supposed to help us. He got caught, he got captured. We weren't sure if we could trust him, so we tortured him, ripped his arm off, but then kind of felt bad about it, so we replaced it with a robot arm. He is also a guy that specializes in just making stickers that instantly delete people's souls. Yeah, anyway, somehow they were just kind of okay with their arm getting, forcibly ripped off. Anyway, let's see. I'm not sure what's the case in FFT. I mean, people get turned into frogs on the regular, and apparently communicate via frogs according to that one cutscene, so, Let's see, no clue. I don't even know what the mods are. Yeah, FFT's mod scene is nutty by this point. I don't even know if it's fair to call it a scene as much as an ocean. Let's see, honestly, if we do get an FFT Reborn, I hope they do away with the charge time on spells. See, I hope they find some way to double down on it. But then again, the charge time thing, if they found a way to make it a bit more elegant, I've always appreciated it. Just because the timing-wise feels pretty good. Or the timing and everything feels pretty good. Like, in many ways, I think they maybe should approach it... Okay. Have any of y'all played Monster Sanctuary by any means? Because they had a cool way of doing that whole thing. Wherein, whenever there was a charge... Like, a lot of the abilities would specifically do the whole kind of charge time thing. Like, based on where you specifically activated them over the course of your turn, they would function differently. It's like a big part of the strategy in that game is just you have your whole party, but basically you use your weak moves. The more moves you hit over the course of your turn, the more you power up the moves later on down the line. So, for example, you have somebody that's going up and hitting somebody like 10 times in a row, and you start off with your weak hit, and then you save your bigger hit for later. It's just a fun bit of strategy there. Let's see. No charge spells would just make the mage OP. I mean, they were already pretty friggin' OP even with the charge. There were always ways you could play around it. Let's see, what is that mod about? Couldn't find any info explaining what it is. Which mod are we talking about, Rafa? Don't know. Let's see, if they do away with CT on an FFT remake, they gotta change the archers a bit. Their charge shots could get OP as heck without charge time. There's no way that archer doesn't get completely revamped if they redo it in my eyes. It's just the archer always stuck out as like a what the hell did they do to you kind of thing. It felt very placeholder, But yeah. I don't know, it felt very, very placeholder in my eyes. Alright, in this case, this feels like one of those Sonic Thrust moments, because he's going to do 15 with his basic stab. We hit this guy with that stab. He has his just kind of like cheap move here, basically. Like he has just enough for 2 of his better ones and 1 of his worst ones. So there we go. We got 2 of them wounded. They should hopefully avoid the fight now. Now that he gets his MP back, I'm kind of regretting not using a better move on him, but whatever. Let's see, the only reason charge time exists on magic here is to read off the disc and had to be loaded in. We're kind of past that. What? Okay, I have never heard that mentioned even once. Is that confirmed? Like, is that a known thing? Because it still takes a second and stutters every now and then when it needs to load, so... What? Let's see, only played a little bit of Monster Sanctuary, did like that mechanic. Yeah, it was pretty darn fun. You know what? Okay, here's the thing. If you wanted to see what this whole system looks like without charge time, just look up how Felseal did it. Again, graphics-wise, I get it. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is an absolutely amazing look into the potential mechanics of this whole thing. Like, the mechanics for Felseal are really, really solid. And basically, the way that they handled it in that case was that there is just a way stricter limit on your MP and stuff. So in a lot of cases, being able to generate MP in some ways are fairly crucial to a lot of your classes. So like, let's say, and for that matter, it was able to do a lot more functions that you don't necessarily see in kind of most games of the genre there. So like, let's say. Okay, I should take a step back and explain that in Felseal's case, it operated off a lot of card game logic. So basically, if anything could apply to anything else, it will do so. So like, let's say So, like, let's say you've got probably my favorite combination there, where you've got your automatic crossbow that you get at the beginning of the game. It's just a crossbow that shoots in an AoE. At the same time, there's nothing saying that you can't go and combine that with multiple crit up abilities and items, combine that with an ability that allows you to use spells to combine with physical attacks, and then, for example, take another ability that allows you to inflict crits while using magic in any way, and then combine that in with an ability that gives you a debuff if you inflict a crit while using magic, and then suddenly you have somebody that basically has a kind of like debuff multi-element plus physical damaging shotgun instead of this basic crossbow. And just like the fun way that you could combine all this stuff on top of another was really darn fun. Yeah, let's go ahead and ration up here. I'm thinking, and let's get you back from the dead. All right. Let's see, the one that you're playing. Yeah, so this one came out not that long ago. This is Reach the Future. Basically, it's just a total fever dream of it's a total fever dream of everything. It's like every mod at once. It's just all of them. And strategically, it seems very tight so far, as in, it seems to be expecting you to understand how to manage your time right from the get-go, as you see from the fact that we are getting thoroughly trounced, and we're basically still in the intro. Let's see, Bullet Punch. Can you hit anybody with that? Not really. It looks like it shoots directly in a line. Let's see. He can't get over there. That would have been pretty helpful. If he just biles, I guess. Just attempt to bile that one. He's not really being anything super crazy useful right now, but if you could just go ahead and block some tiles, that would help a lot. So yeah, what is Reach the Future? It's basically, it's FFT, but it's a combination of every mod that you've ever seen to some degree, just kind of all happening at once. With minigames baked in, you're in some kind of time loop situation. I haven't the foggiest of how to actually describe this thing accurately, so I guess let's just see what it is. That didn't help at all, you're welcome. You could just do the old holy spam, yeah, except we don't actually have any maps that we can go and kind of grind anything on so far. So these guys are already partially grinded up, a little bit anyway. So there's that. Anyway, let's see, you go here, you go ahead and attempt to ration up, get you up, and basically, since we have the body of that one unit over there on the left secured, at some point we're very likely to have a turn to go and get a free heal off of it. So we're just going to kind of cannibalize them. We're just going to go over here and attempt to, again, screw with their economy. It's definitely very gamey. It doesn't seem like they're terribly fussed with trying to make it immersive as much as just like, screw it, here's a billion mechanics, have fun. So we're sandbagging pretty hard, even though we're, again, still basically in the intro here. Any chance of a dodge? No. Dude keeps taking all our money. Let's see, always like the flavor of charging spells, not like how FFT does it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of core to the identity. I doubt they'll change it. I would imagine maybe they're going to change it to, like, you customize how long you want to charge or something. I mean, if I were to do it, that's probably how I'd do it. Just like, you kind of just do like a Silent Storm kind of situation, you know? Where it's like you can dedicate additional time or recovery time, or CT in this case, to going and getting your thing kind of improved. And of course, I did something very dumb there. I just got him killed off for no reason. Way to go. Way to go. All right. I think wrong with that info feels more thematic unless you give us sources. Will not believe the explanation. Explanation on... Oh, wait, hold on. That was a response to something. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. As far as the whole charge time thing, I have no idea. I've never heard that one personally. But hey, if you got any source to back that up, that would be kind of fascinating. Alright, I think we see Shanty here. Let's see, whose turn's coming up? Rufus. Yeah, Rufus is freaking fast, dude. Dude's speedy. Looks like we're mostly safe for everything except for throwing rocks. Does feel like we need to be getting away from those throwing rocks, though, so... we're just gonna have to accept that she gets knocked out by a counter here and probably attempt to hide up here, I guess. There's a non-zero chance that this just completely backfires, but let's see. Have you played Crimson Tactics? If so, what's your opinion? Besides the weapon rages that I don't like at the same time, it's the best modern FFT or TO. It's pretty fun. I like it in terms of the like the feel, how they handle a lot of the characters, and well, how they handle a lot of the story stuff and whatnot. There were a few things wasn't really super big on it. To be completely honest, I haven't like completely completed what's there, because as I understand, it's basically demo length right now. Anyway, I haven't really completed it up to this point, primarily just due to the fact that it doesn't really work terribly well on the deck. It's functional enough to be able to play it, you know, kind of like in handheld mode and whatnot, but it's not something that I'm going out of my way to kind of go and spend a lot of extra time on and whatnot. But it was really darn fun. I liked what they did with it. I liked a lot of the mechanics there. As far as being a modern TO or FFT, that one I'd have to disagree with. But anyway, we'll get to that more in just a second. I'm trying to see what we want to do on this map here, because we might actually be hosed. We'll see. We'll see in a moment. But anyways, no, as far as being a like modern FFT or TO, again, it depends on how you define it. Like, if we're talking about FFT mechanics directly, like, Felsiel mastered that to a degree that's kind of comical. If we're talking about a modern TO, like Reborn frickin' rules, and even if you're not super into Reborn, there's always, you know, there's always One Vision and whatnot. So there's a whole lot of kind of potential there for kind of going one way or the other. Let's just go this way. I think we might be hosed unless his turn is immediately right now. Currently our issue is that Rufus is really dang fast, so we probably need to be rushing him down a little bit better here. Yeah, he's going to go in full heal right now. And yes, the power of Monster Hunter Meat, exactly. But anyways, yeah. So it did try to do a lot of things very, very neatly, and like I really appreciated the way that they handled a lot of things, like the surrender mechanics and whatnot. And by the way, sorry if I'm kind of all over the place in terms of trying to describe the dang thing. Trying to puzzle out whether there's any opportunity for a comeback here with the current party. Anyway, I'm thinking we probably are not making a comeback unless by any means this one... Actually, no, she's not... Well, it's too late now. She would be the one with the revive, except you got the throw a stone. You know what? Just throw a rock and just go ahead and eat it. We need to restart, as we do. And I think actually the trick to doing this whole thing is to not... Well, to switch everybody to soldiers. Frankly, their armor's just better. You're saying you wish Reborn is a bit more complex? Man, I've spent months making videos explaining how it's more complex. There's less on the stat sheet, but there's way the hell more going on in terms of the individual pieces. But yeah, no, in Reborn's case, like, that's a video that I've been wanting to make over and over, and just kind of always end up going back on it. Because I keep wanting to add some other detail and some other detail and some other detail, and don't like an older version of it. And basically it's this thing where, like, for example, if you're taking, like, One Vision and Reborn and stuff like that, right? And it's like in One Vision's case, they're going to have way more going on kind of like the stat sheet level. In Reborn, they're going to have way more going on the field level, technically speaking. But the problem is every argument that you make can be applied to both in both directions. At the same time, you could say that both have a lot more going on in the field, and they do. And you could make the argument that they both have more going on than the originals back in the build-outs, which they do. But a lot of it is... It's funny because they both have the same thing of not being directly clear in terms of what exactly matters. So like little stuff like Vigorous Attack, let's say in Reborn, most folks won't necessarily pick up on, or like Eagle Eye, most folks will not necessarily pick up on, or the fun combinations of, you know, combining those with debuff weapons, with pincers, and like all of the kind of tricky moving your pieces slightly to the left and getting something entirely different. That's whole Reborn's whole shtick. And then taking a bunch of kind of smaller pieces and Legoing together your build from a bunch of other, smaller parts is One Vision's whole thing, and both are fun as hell. And yeah, anyway. Point being, both of them are freaking fantastic. Moving on, let's get back to this thing. So let's do what I should have done already. You need to have some actual armor on you. So let's go ahead and change your job out real quick. Change you out for a soldier. Let's go ahead and equip your stuff. I love that they got bronze swords. That just feels exactly like a RuneScape reference to me. But let's go ahead and set your abilities here. I'll let you have your casting type of stuff, get your fundamentals, get your all that kind of stuff. Let's see, don't know about Reborn. Everything seems to work without putting any effort into it somehow. I mean, it depends entirely on how you want to view it, I suppose. Everything does seem to work, and then you realize you can move some stuff, and then it works better. Mostly the issue is that you don't get soft-locked, which... or actually, that's not an issue. Mostly the benefit there is that you don't get soft-locked. Which, for anyone that ever did challenge runs of the original Tactics Ogre, whoo boy, are there lots of fun ways to get yourself stupidly screwed over with the only answer being grind. Seem pretty simple. Well, I have an entire channel dedicated to proving otherwise. Let's see, cards are massive limitations. The amount of skills and spells is really true. That's the thing, though. There are no limitations on those. It's... Okay. Quick little tangent on Reborn here, because I can never not address that kind of thing. So, like, in terms of spell amounts and whatever else, it's not that... How do I describe this? It's like, say you took something, right, and you ended up cleaning your house, and then you were looking for that thing in the exact same spot where it was before, even though you had gone and put it in a more organized place. You have that drawer over there, it's more organized with all that stuff. But you get pissed off because it's not in the same location, Basically, everything that was there originally is still there in some other location, in some other way. It's more recontextualization. Like, that's kind of the thing. Reborn recontextualizes everything. Like, One Vision goes and, like, basically rips the guts out and puts new ones in. But in both cases, they're still improving on the original in their own ways. So, for example, like the card thing, the way that those end up playing in terms of, like, well, do you basically, like, do you have somebody hold a spot over here to maybe potentially build somebody up to be able to punch through over there? Do you potentially, go and specifically take cards to make sure that the other guy can't get them? Do you, like... For example, let's say something like a Vartan with talons in that particular case, where you have a character where if you had a unit running a spell type ability or a spell type item back in PSP, your answer would be okay. You match them to that particular element. You give them a bunch of equipment that matches that particular element. You stack, 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 and then you grind out the relevant stacks to get more ranks, to get more stacks. And then that was kind of it. It wasn't more strategic, it was just more, grind and stack. It was just add more to the pile. And basically the way that they changed it is so, like, where you have the different elements going and interacting with each other directly. So there's essentially one stack over there. That's more or less equivalent to, in some cases, a full stack of benefits back from the PSP version. But then at the same time, they buffed the actual buffs and debuffs, so you end up seeing more out of those. So for example, just with an elemental advantage and like a breach or fear or something, you take somebody going from you basically take somebody from what would have been a just complete non-issue to being an absolute powerhouse. So, like, again, what I was saying earlier with that Vartan, let's say you have somebody with talons. This is an item that's got one of the best spells on it, but it's specifically on units that won't have very good casting stats. So in their particular case, they would essentially take those talons in PSP and be like, okay, I need my Augment Air, so I need to go get my Falcon Mail. I need to go get my, actually, now that I think about it, there's not even any air helmets. So they need to go get their Choker. They need to get all that. And then they grind Augment Air and Anatomy, and then they just keep doing those. You get some Spellcraft on there, basically you're just getting more twigs to put onto the fire. And then in Reborn's case, it's like, okay, they're already the air element, we got that covered, they have the item in question, they essentially can just go pick up one card, pick up a crit card, and basically go and annihilate something with that thing right from the get-go. It just allows more kind of dynamic fights rather than grinding, so to speak. But anyway. Okay, enough ranting, let's get on with this. There's actually around 7 to 8 hours on... Let's see. There's actually around 7 to 8 hours on Crimson's Tactics right now. Yep. It is pretty neato. I haven't really... Again, it's not exactly the... it's not exactly complete as of yet. I was kind of waiting for more stuff to come in, and hopefully the actual controls patch to fully kind of dive into Crimson a bit more. In general, I really liked it, though. From what I saw of it, especially the kind of mount system. But then at the same time, and this isn't a negative, it's actually just more of a kind of comparison thing, and going back to what I was saying earlier on the... do we have any better armor for you? Whatever, we'll just give them some better equipment for the time being. So going back to kind of comparing indie type of stuff and whatnot, if we take a look at a lot of indies that are out there... It's this funny situation where many of them will try very similar things and succeed in varying degrees, for better or worse. Let's see, how do I post the article? I know YouTube doesn't let me post links. People post links all the time here. And yeah, Crimson Tactics definitely needs a little bit more time in the oven. For me, it's mostly the controls that are the issue at the moment. Again, you can make it work on the Steam Deck because you basically need your number buttons, which on the left trackpad are basically top, right, bottom, left, which works kind of, except for when it doesn't, and then you're half asleep and trying to, test out different things. And you're finally in this position where you keep accidentally hitting the wrong button, and it makes a fight go on and on and on longer than it probably should. Anyway. Alright. Let's go ahead and continue on. It's the stream of doing the one FFT bit. Doing the one fight in the forest. This one in particular does seem to be a little much for this early, but hey, it is what it is. It's a mod. They kind of expect you to know this stuff by this point, but I love that they're all, like, facing different directions and whatnot. Is this mod a fully complete ROM hack? Seems to be, yeah. Let's see, I just personally found is fairly simple. But that's the thing, it's a lot of simple that has more complicated behind it. Like, as a bit of an example, like, let's say in Reborn what they did with how they reworked, like, Ninja's defensive skills or what have you, in the context of how they redid Coda 4. So, like, in Coda 4, it's a situation where you've basically got 3 units with a, like, preposterous stat disadvantage, versus, like, 18 units. They're all coming in, fully kitted out with endgame equipment. They've got debuffs that you don't really have a direct counter for, but that's the thing. The fact that they took out resistances and immunities suddenly makes a lot of things that previously were kind of worthless a lot more worthwhile. So, like, something like dodge, something like running smokescreen on top of phalanx. So something like evade smokescreen phalanx is a legitimately good counter to a lot of that stuff. The fact that you can't directly just rely on only those all the time because you have a hard limit of 4 things that you can activate at any given time. It causes stuff like positioning, like buff items, just oddly specific functions on spells to have more meaning than a lot of the previous things potentially might have. Let's see, on the example you gave, you can now instead break the fights with much less work, you just need a bit of luck for the right card to summon. But that's the thing, it isn't going to be just the cards, and that's part of the reason that it makes it a little bit difficult to describe. Because when it comes to the cards, for one thing, they cut both ways, but for another, they won't achieve something if you weren't set up to take advantage of it in the first place. It's why, if you ever saw, like, when I was doing the like tier list videos and stuff like that for that particular one, there were several cases of units that the people got a bit upset about in terms of getting higher ratings due to being able to adapt to more situations. So as far as I saw it, the overall value in a unit was its ability to adapt to every situation. So, like, for example, when I was going and consistently rating stuff like Valkyries up on top, it was a case where no matter what the situation, no matter kind of what things ended up coming your way, you didn't have to rely on the cards, but they were something that would constantly end up boosting you up. So, like, let's say you have your... actually, wait a minute. How good is this heal? I actually forgot to check. She actually probably should be healing herself. Wow, that heal sucks. Okay, that's terrible. It might be enough to maybe help her out. I think we're just going to see Shanty, though. Sorry, I ended up getting off track here again. Like, as far as the cards go, they won't do something that isn't already there. Like, attacks, aside from monster units, like physical up cards, will scale up your damage, but they won't get you past defenses. For magic cards, they would, but in their particular case, they're already scaling lower. In the case of something like crits, it can just as often be a bad thing as a good thing if you're using them incorrectly. Obviously, it all will end up depending. They're called buffs for a reason, but still, if you don't know what you're doing, they're not going to be the thing that ends up winning you the fight. It's just not really how that works. Here, let's just go the same way. I feel like this cliff approach was probably the best way to go about it. I'm just going to go ahead and start you there. Stabify you. Alright. So you can see Tio is moving... Let's see. But yeah, oftentimes, like, nothing ever makes you feel like your channel is completely worthless other than the fact that you try to explain the same concept over and over, and it, like, the first reaction you always get is, oh no, it's just random. Man! I've been trying to make this whole friggin' channel to show how that's not the case, and exactly none of that stuck, because it's got no splash. Like, okay. Like, a regular example is actually a video I haven't even put up yet. It was like, let's say the usual arguments of the summons thing, of like preferred magic types or what have you. A lot of times, folks will look at, for example, a potential cheese of trying to make those luck strategies work, while completely ignoring way better options down the road. So, like, let's say you got somebody that does the standard, oh, I can only use summons and shamans, and there's nothing else in this game, and I have to collect 4 cards or else my strategy doesn't work. It's the game's fault. It's not me. Kind of approach, which happens a lot. And in that particular case, they're essentially taking an attack that's got relatively low penetration and power in general, and attempting to boost it up because it hits multiple times. Whereas at the same time, they could have, for example, taken one of their basic splash moves. They send a Terra Knight up, they use their AoE Fear move, it breaks the defenses of all the units around, you target your own Terra Knight in that Fear bubble, everybody's hitting way the hell harder on each one of those units than those summons would have. But hey, you know, who needs strategy? We can complain about luck kind of a situation, you know? Anyway, let's see. Original TO and OB gives the player quite a few choices without having nearly any skills. Exactly. Anyway, so in general, the fun recontextualizations are what made Reborn really darn fun for me. Let's see. Can we move? Yeah, I think we go over here. We should be decent. I feel like we need to let them approach, actually. Yeah, I feel like stone throws are going to be the way that we do this. Okay, that's going to be a bad line. Do a bit of bile here. Yeah, it feels like standing still strategies are kind of the way to go here. Especially Rufus in particular over there with all this crazy speed needs to be dealt with ASAP. Anyway, like, for example, if we're talking about the Reborn thing, by any chance did you catch the Coda 4 stream the other day? In terms of just how much there is to do with just the slots that are there. Wait, what did she just do? Okay, I'm not sure what just happened. Let's see. I heard Baldur's Gate 3 has lots of things that can be pulled off in combat. I mean, it's a Baldur's Gate game. I would certainly hope so. Let's see. Bile. We have just enough time to make Bile happen. Alright, where's Rufus at? Because ideally, if we can poison that guy, that's going to help us out quite a bit. Is that you? I don't think so. It's you, isn't it? Yeah. It's this guy because he's got the Angry Sprite that they only use once in FFT. Just go ahead and set up the Bile on you then. Probably leave him up front because he doesn't have a death timer. Rations, you got your Bile. Yeah, you just keep spamming Bile. Screw it. With the higher health and constant Bile spam, we should be getting somewhere. Alright. So you can do a lot of things in BG3, and Thunderwave is actually useful now, and Terrain has Z levels now. Neat! Let's see, I heard somebody mention Divinity. That does sound a bit like Divinity. Let's see, card mechanic, could haven't been random, could have been, I don't know, consumable items you have to craft or hunt, also that feels need for a solution to bad balance. Okay. But that's the thing. While I do agree that they could have picked something more natural than cards, the way that it's handled isn't about, like, that's the thing. It's assuming that there is a thing to correct to begin with. Again, if you've seen a lot of the videos there, you may have noticed the one that gets used the most in any one of the videos that I've been doing or whatever else, it's almost never the fizz up cards, magic cards, crit cards, any of that. It's the skill cards. Because frankly, being able to just go and guarantee a bunch of things that previously would have required grinding is going to be a decent bit more useful in my eyes, because it spreads debuffs like crazy. Anyway, so like I said before, it basically cuts both ways. Both sides can end up having, cards in different ways. In terms of balance-related stuff, hang on, what's that? Yeah, that's a good point, Daniel. It is fairly subjective. Like, it depends entirely. Like, right now, we could absolutely be making the argument in both directions. Like, well, technically speaking, we keep losing the stuff in the intro, rah, bad balance, but at the same time, it's causing us to use a lot more of the mechanics in a lot more interesting ways. And to me, that's always the thing that ends up mattering the most. Like, are you interacting with the mechanics in ways that are fun? So, like, in Reborn's case, what that whole situation ends up creating is, like, the cards themselves add just more dynamism to stuff. It's never going to be the thing that ends up winning you the fight by itself. You will see the occasional person come up and insist that, like, no, I needed to get my all my casters to get all of their match-up cards before moving in. And okay, that's you. If that's the way that you prefer to do it, great. You know what? You do you. But basically, better positioning, getting debuffs off, going and blocking units in particular locations, that stuff will always matter more. And it matters way more in Reborn than it used to do in previous versions, because they quietly ended up adjusting a bunch of little things in the background. So, for example, you may notice that a lot of the enemy units will specifically not use finishers that can hit through walls. You can do that, they can't. Specifically, again, to address one of the things that was annoying back in PSP, which was where, in many cases, terrain stopped mattering, because at certain points it was just both sides launching nukes across the map at each other. Same thing was an issue in TO SNES, where occasionally it would just show up and somebody uses some Draconics or Apocrypha, and, a bunch of units just died without any actual recourse. But again, obviously a lot of this stuff is... obviously it's going to depend entirely on what you prefer. Like, I prefer Reborn and something like Felseal for exactly the same reasons, and One Vision as well. It's just lots of mechanics to interact with. So, like, in Reborn's case, there were a lot of niche mechanics that, like, all the debuff items and stuff like that are something that never, ever ended up getting used. Let's see. Hold on. Let's take a quick turn here to see how many things I missed while ranting on about this. Oh, and by the way, in terms of, like, the not having it be random or whatever else, that just seems super cheesable. Especially for the, like, thousands of fights in that game. Exactly. It causes synergistic teams to kind of, well, have a lot more value to them than they previously did. So, like, let's say you want to have a case where you have a caster that's going to be hitting particularly hard. Like I mentioned earlier, you've got cases like, I think my favorite opener is always going to be the Terror Knight, because you can go Enfeeble into Lament of the Dead, which basically will multiply it far more than any card would. Would cards still help in that situation? Sure. But you're going to be, if you're trying to collect cards during that time, you're not going to be in position to take advantage of that. So it just leads to this fun thing where you're interacting with more stuff, where positioning matters more, debuffs matter more. I mean, it's obviously going to be a perspective thing. It's like, if you're into that sort of thing, you're into that sort of thing. Let's see, what if my card is Blue Eyes White Dragon? I don't see any possible way that could be a problem. See, I wipe battles in 1, 2, 3 turns. Which section of the game are you in, though? And for that matter, how much grinding was involved? Like, to my mind, the one thing that they should have done in terms of Reborn is one thing that they never would have done, because it would have pissed too many people off, which is just to go all the way with it and just say, you know what? Just hard lock on stats. Whatever stuff you get from whatever builds you made along the way, no field pickups, no charms. Try playing it that way, and you will see a whole different game before your eyes. There is so much more going on once you're not trying to go down that particular route. So hell, it's like an FFT Orlando exists. Yeah. Basically a cheat button. Let's see, tear in half, steal our Grandpa Souls. Rough. See, FFT is much more balanced in general. I mean, I don't know what's balanced about FFT. It feels like it's crackhead balance on purpose, but all right. I mean, that's the thing. All of this stuff will always be subjective, though. Like, there's really no directly correct answer to any of it. Like, again, to me, what it comes down to is, like, the stuff that Reborn does, the stuff that like, One Vision does, the stuff that FFT does, the stuff that Armored Core does, all of it comes together in the same way to me, and to add, like, Felseal and, let's say, XCOM 2 to the pile, too. All of it does in some kind of respect, they're the same thing in terms of just making you interact with the mechanics. As long as there's interactions going on, it's worth doing. Okay, you just go ahead and attempt to bile that dude. I'm trying to figure out how do we get something out of this right now. It's going a little bit south, as it's been doing, unfortunately. You just keep spamming bile, I guess. Alright. I mean, as far as other things go, obviously stuff like the way that you know what, even something like the drops, I don't know how you necessarily would have handled that better. So, like, in the case of something like Reborn, there's constantly been this regular thing of, like, how exactly are you going to deal with the drops in that particular situation on something like Temples, where it's something that's now very easily accessible, it's right there, you can just go right back into it. And if, for example, somebody were able to get infinite copies, like, without any effort of something like, let's say, the Talons or something, it would feel incredibly worthless. While at the same time, if you were to, for example, want to go pick up any relics whatsoever, going through Palace of the Dead, you're going to get that stuff in droves because it's kind of expected to be standard equipment. But then you get to something like the end of Coda 4, and then you have, like, 7 of the most busted weapons in the game. Though it's a bit of a weird situation, because you'd think, like, okay, you're already in the hardest fight at the very end, there's not really much of a point in letting that drop just sort of happen, but at the same time, it also, like, I feel like at the very least, they could have just left it to the Relic Brinny in that particular case, where, like, it just feels like something that's very difficult to do. I feel like what they were going for in that particular case was trying to make it so that you just kind of had to prove that you could do it more than once, that you didn't just get lucky. But yeah, as far as that stuff goes, it's kind of one of those, like, how exactly do you go one way or the other on this? Because really both answers are going to have problems. Let's see, it's one tactical aim I think does have good balance. Oh wait, hang on. Sorry, I moved the chat and never moved it back. Let's see, broken is fun, a good catch for analysis. Speaking of lack of balance, finger in Project Phantasma. Oh, you mean the infinite death beam? Yeah, 3,000 bullets of 5-shot spread. What could possibly go wrong? Alright, let's go ahead and rationify this guy. I'm pretty sure we're hosed, but let's go ahead and see if we can make something happen. But yeah, and in some cases, like, this also comes down to the AI thing as well. Like, for ages, I kept hearing the same stuff come up, specifically for Reborn, which is weird because it comes up in, like, every strategy game period, which was, oh no, the AI did XYZ random stupid thing. You know, they should be so much smarter and take the optimal move right over here. And then you have those cases where it's like, you look at something like XCOM 2, where it's like, okay, the sectoid will always attempt to do something along the lines of bringing a zombie back to life as soon as they get their turn. And on paper, is that a stupid decision for them to do 100% of the time? Yeah, it's going to usually cause them to have one free attack. But at the same time, on the player side, it gives you that little sense of relief knowing that you have that little window right there to do something. And then at the same time, it basically creates a situation where if you disable that in some way during your turn, now you've made them far scarier. While at the same time, it also gives them that same feeling of, like, look, these dumb clones are all doing the same thing. It reinforces the kind of narrative in that situation. So, like, for example, one of those things that I loved that did the same thing for Reborn there was that they recontextualized monster units where there was way too heavy stacking back in the PSP version when it came to the debuff casters. Like, to give you an idea of how nutty it was, it's like everybody else basically had like one type of attack, couple of types of attacks, and whatever was on their equipment slots, right? So they might get the occasional ability here or there, but generally their turns are pretty quick. And then you get up to one of your casters, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, like 30 plus skills here. Hang on, let me just go ahead and puzzle through real quick. Let me figure out which of my 30 abilities. Oh, let's see, if I moisten the mud a little bit over there, that might help. I don't know. Well, you know, let's see. If I lead that guy, that might help a little bit. Oh, 0% hit odds. I didn't actually bring a debuff setup. Okay, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and see about hitting that guy. No, but if I hit that guy with this other thing, it'll be slightly different. And it just led to, like, this weird time creep, specifically when it came to your casters, where just all of your time was more or less dedicated to just going through their entire list and retesting those same abilities over and over and over and over against every frickin' thing on the map. And then at the same time, the entirety of the monster units were never used at all. Whereas now it's like, oh, you need False Strike, you bring your Thunder Dragon, you send them up, suddenly that 20% guaranteed chance to miss really freaking matters. Or you send in your Fire Dragons with their Breach, that will suddenly matter a whole lot if you're running Archers. You got your Poison on your Hydras. Oh, hey, look, for the first time in the series, somebody actually wants to use a Hydra. Like, it's just crazy how they had, like, over a dozen unit types that just never frickin' got used. And now all of a sudden they do, because the casters, you know, aren't running 50 bajillion skills at one time. But yeah, to me, it just means that more units can synergize better in more fun ways. So, hell, that's generally been my preferred version. I love Wind Vision for the same reason, though it's just generally a bit slower to get into, and currently the visuals for it are pretty jacked up on my end. Because I tried to do the HD UI mod, because somebody was... as I understand, there were a few folks putting together a mod that would allow you to use the Reborn UI in original PSP, but it looks mega scuffed on my end right now because it doesn't want to play nice with the Steam Deck. Okay, done ranting. Let's see, do I need to get a Princess in OB? Will I every time? I mean, probably on accident, to be fair. Yeah, this is... by the way, this entire attempt is going great. But yeah, in terms of better or worse balance, again, if you want to see the best, the best balance of the entire Ogre series, all you got to do, basically, take Reborn. Never use any stat charms. Play your characters straight as they are, and you'll get to see a lot more of those mechanics. Because a lot of the assumptions that come up from those cards are from those cases where somebody will, like, use the same cards over and over and over and over and over, and then, comparatively speaking, this is again why it's always the frickin' summoners that end up coming up. Comparatively speaking, they'll take a unit that basically is meant to do, like, machine gun chip damage, right? And then keep throwing more and more stats at it to the point that this machine gun has become a really big machine gun. And then suddenly it's like, oh, the only way I can do stuff is with cards, because no love has been invested in any of the rest of the team, no synergies have been established. Anyway. Let's see. Like I said, Reborn didn't have stat drops in the cards. It would just be much... See, personally, I disagree about the cards. I love the frickin' card mechanic. Don't get me wrong. As far as the charms, I would definitely get rid of those. But... again, that's just me. Personally, like, playing through without charms was a way the friggin' hell better experience. It just gives you a very, very clean feeling experience. It's nice. Alright, so, we've approached this a few different ways. Speed-wise, it seems like that Rufus guy is our problem. All of these guys are seemingly running a fairly similar skill set. Placement-wise, holding the staircase seems to be the best way for us to go. Forming up seems to be the best way to go in terms of denying targets and not having to move. So I'm thinking if we... let's see. How much does Bullet Punch actually do? Yeah, that is doo-doo for damage. If we get her out of here... If we get her out of here, I'm not sure that'll help much. Alright, we're just gonna do regular attack, I think. Or just Bile. If we... Now, we need to rush one down. We need to pick up one of their crystals, I think. Attempt to buy time for a full heal off that. Now, what's the features of this mod? All of them. Just frickin' all of the mods. That's more or less what we're looking at here. It's a mod that pretty much combines more features than you'd ever reasonably ever want to see in a mod. Whether you wanted mini-games, whether you wanted seemingly every character mod, whether you wanted some kind of time loop system going on. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea what most of it is, but it looks really fascinating, so that's what we're here for. And currently we've just been getting repeatedly dunked on in this forest for like the last hour, so there's that too. See, summoners suck though. In which way? Which thing are we talking about? Are we... That could mean a whole lot of things in the context of the previous conversation that went in all kinds of funky directions. Alright, I'm going to move her forward to attempt to tank a little bit. We're going to move forward, take a bit of a swing. Would a Q Portrait such a classic? This is true. Let's see. Fundamentals, Bile. Can you Bile this dude? I'm thinking actually if we form up in a line, keep our backs to the wall, that might be a better way to do this. Or maybe the circle method will work. If he goes here, I'm thinking this dude will probably attempt to swing at him instead. He's got way more health than our singer over there. If some of these happen to roll their poison, however low them odds are, I'm thinking it's probably like 10% or something. That would help us out a little bit. For now, we're really just casting for damage itself, because we're not spending any MP or additional movement to do it, but we are losing out during that charge time. So need to stop attacking during charge turns. That should be a little bit of an obvious fundamental thing, but hey, it's been a while since I FFT'd. So there's that. Oh, by the way, Cookie, if you're talking about like Summoners and Reborn on the no stats thing, basically, again, try that same Cudgel Terranite thing. Like, they end up being absolutely cracked in some cases. Like, what I was consistently doing over the course of that run was Cudgel Terranite, basically have them boosted up by one of the casters. So they take an MP stick, they charge forward, enfeeble into Lament of the Dead. Use something like a Lord setup to give them a second roll for their Lament of the Dead, using something like Paradigm Shift. And then from there, you come in with the casters and just kind of like nuke the entire area, or you go the other way with a Zweihander, Zweihander Skeleton Terranite or what have you, and then you just kind of completely delete the area with archers. Honestly, both of them work just fine, but it is a really fun time. But yeah, you can make summoners pretty nutty in that one, and it's one of the reasons that I really like using stuff like Valkyries, because they can be up front. You got your poison swings off the swords. You've got your potential range damage if you're running a Tribrid build. You can go straight into free MP summons. Like the synergies, the amount of synergies and like adaptive stuff of like, well, Plan A didn't work. You know, those cards over there are completely not going to support this situation. We're just going to throw at the plan, come up with something new on the fly. That's what I love Reborn for. I mean, it's frankly the same kind of stuff that was really fun about something like March of the Black Queen, where it's like, okay, you expected that one squad to go take that one town over there. Okay, they got completely annihilated out of nowhere by a surprise octopus squad. So, okay, you need to somehow redo your entire team. Okay, they lost their leader over there. New leader in charge. You take your Valkyries, you swap positions, because they suddenly need casters over there. They need physicals over there. You kind of just reorder your parties, send them off in different directions. It is a dang good time. So I just love that kind of stuff. Anyway, but yeah, Liches definitely do the trick. Like, especially Apocrypha into that Fear and Feeble setup from before. Pretty freaking solid. Okay. I should probably focus on this dealing here. I think we need to go after this guy, like, first priority. I know we're getting out of position again. I'm going to hate myself for it in a moment. But I need this guy blinded. So if I can go ahead and blind him, hopefully he drops the dark. If he counters, hopefully he misses. No, he really likes landing that, apparently. Anyway, let's see. Buffoonery, he just heals instead in this case, instead of just going full offense. Use some of our Bloodborne Vials. So he should be somewhat set for the moment. If we block movement this way, we're going to leave ourselves partially exposed. That's decent. Just do that. It doesn't give us the poison option, but and it does leave one of our units exposed a little bit. I'm thinking if you... Let's see, if you move over here... let's see, if we charge attack... I believe he does up to 25, so this might work. Yeah, there we go. Just crossbow to the face. Just blast him with a crossbow in the neck, why not? See, Ogre-Bladed Casters, Ninjas, and zoom around and fire. Yeah. Yeah, Ninja, basically, personally my favorite was Terror Knight into Ninjas with Tier 2 Ninja Summons and things like that for the Ogre Blade. Because, yeah, just like Fear plus Steel Stance plus just like summon spamming, plus you give them some boots to hover. You just basically have a flying lightning cloud. It's hilarious. Honestly, if something's funnier, that just makes it better. Alright. Let's see. Can you move into position? Okay, you can reorientate our offense while also blocking yourself from the front. She might get stoned here. She might just barely survive it on a low roll, so I think we're in a far better position here. They're going to get some of their MP back, but we'll make that work. Back's exposed to that lady who has decided to go for the stone instead. Alright. I mean, I'll take it. You get rid of Denim, that's also, I guess, a Hitmonchan, I don't know. March to the Black Queen, Octopi units can wreck you if they catch you in the water. And yeah, like March to the Black Queen was really dang fun for that particular reason. There were just so many units that were useful in very oddly specific situations to the point that having mixed parties could potentially be very handy. For that matter, going back to the previous thing over what potentially, you know, bad balance could potentially look like and whatnot, have any... Okay, this is weird, because the example that I'm going to give has nothing to do with bad balance. Actually, I've kind of been loving going through Symphony of Worgen recently, wherein I was kind of curious about what had actually changed in the game, since I was told that, you know, they went and they did a bunch of updates and, you know, stuff's better balanced and whatnot. And despite the fact that it's still pretty easy at this point, it does feel nice, you know? Like, it's one of these cases where it's like, the balance makes sense even if it's not objectively super difficult. Just because, like in their particular case, a lot of the mechanics, if you use them correctly, can be pretty busted, frankly. Like for example, rushing down cavalry with spears and then immediately going into a surrender with a you know, fairly cheap rookie squad to give them all free level ups and stuff like that. It's just fun to interact with stuff there. Even if it's not objectively, you know, crazy difficultly balanced or whatever else. But on the total flip side, there was another one that I played a little while ago, and this is the one that one of the ones that I was talking about that I never actually did a video on because I didn't want to talk down on a indie project that seemed to be trying its best, which was, if anyone here has played Asperia by any chance, where it tried to do the same thing that Symphony of War did in many ways, but with like a tenth of the features. And frankly, the writing totally didn't do it for me, but either darn ways, that was a situation in which it basically felt like every other map in the intro to the game was basically just like re-roll until they miss at least one attack if you're playing on hard mode. So like, you don't get any of your options yet. Here's like a 20 versus 3 fight. And, yeah, hopefully they miss some stuff, because your damage ranges basically mean that even if you save everyone's health, it's not really happening for you. Anyway. You wish you could Ogre Blade into a dragon. Personally, I was really looking forward to Ogre Blade into an octopus, but you can't quite do that. Want to turn your dragons into humanoids. That'd be confusing. Do you really want to play, but want to wait till the DLC? Yeah, the DLC looks pretty interesting. Let's see. But you know, personally, when it comes to like back to the original topic, you know, 20 different topics ago. By the way, I love that they can do that. When it comes to, oh man, this has like no chance to hit whatever roll for it anyway. I think we got screwed by the counter dark in this case. That's a bummer. Yeah. Yeah, good balance is objective. Or subjective, rather. Alright, I guess we just sort of get you back up on your feet for the moment and attempt to block off that area over there. See, I feel like the trick in this particular case is to get us up to the point of being able to get a crystal. So in which case, we block right here. Hopefully that lady ends up bleeding out. That's too many tiles for them to move. One of our units goes over there, gets a full heal off that. We use this whole situation to burn their turn economy, then use one of our low health units to basically, again, just stall for time. They bleed out. We take a full heal off of off that thing over there. Gives us more tanking ability and all of that. But yeah, Symphony of War was doing a DLC where it was like a new Game Plus mode. I guess like 8 extra chapters or something, which I don't know if they mean extra fights or extra chapters actually, but I don't know. Let's move you over here real quick. Anyway, but yeah, it was something like 13 extra classes. Something along them lines. But yeah, Symphony of War is really freaking good. Like, even if it's not objectively really difficult or what have you, it's really, really fun to play on permadeath mode, just to see those cases where you do run into, you know, a kind of difficult spot and then you suddenly lose several of your veteran units. But then, you know, like one of your commander squads just gets totally wiped out. And then, you know, you maybe circle around and try to figure out how to make stuff work with whoever's left. It's fun. It's a legitimately fun game. So there's that. So I'm just checking on something real quick. Okay. So now in this particular case, he is now juiced up, which means that we should be able to get him into a better position here. If we can take down Rufus, that'd be ideal. Currently, he's not too much of a threat, but we can screw some of their turn economy right here. We're gonna need the double stab and light thrust you. Oh, for crap's sake! Yeah, this is buffoonery is correct. Buffoonery is very correct. Yeah. Didn't expect to be spending this entire stream sitting here on one map. But what can you do, right? Alright, Bile. Let's see. If you do that on you, there's a chance you just get melted away. She definitely pretty much almost certainly gets knocked out. If she heals, nothing really good happens. Like right now they're partially blocking that one tile there. I feel like we maybe need to wait for killing off those first units a little bit. Whatever, we're just going to attempt to go for the Bile for the time being. See if we can just turn economy stall this somehow. Rations, we got turn attacks, we got more heals. Ideal situation seems to be to get this guy back, but it's... Unless we move right here, we're still leaving some spots open. Headband up there can still get up to that spot, unfortunately. This game looks good, but I need an axe-based class. You already have one. The basic soldiers are axe-based. We just don't have access to much of anything as of yet. Alright, so there's the poison. That's probably him dealt with. They're probably going to get all of their turns at once now. What I don't understand is from a... Like, while we're talking about balance perspective-wise thing here, why the hell do they make Rufus so frickin' fast? Like, dude is insanely quick. It's kind of nutty, to be honest. Alright, she can guarantee that he dies to poison here, so we just do that, I think. We don't have anyone on a permanent timer as of yet. Let's see, if we move her... we move over here, that's basically a safe revive, I think. She might still be within throwstone range. We'll see. Yeah, they're still within stone throw range, or crossbow range, I suppose. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Coffee's leaking, apparently. They always get the full heal when we do it this way. We need a better approach. Alright. So we're going to restart again. But I think what we do is we attempt to roll for some earlier poisons and then rush down after the poison goes down a little bit. For the moment, here, let's go ahead and reset. And then get back to it. Alright. Also, by the way, I apologize to anybody who has their message cut off on the very bottom here. I don't know why it does that. It's just what it does. Like, I don't need to enter a message here, but it's angrily telling me that I have to enter a message, apparently. Don't know. I tried putting the chat box in a different way, but this was the only way that it was sticking around. Alright, so timing, spacing, whatever else-wise, we don't really have any additional resources in this particular file. Again, in this particular case, I went and basically had them eat every single unit kind of up to this point. And it feels in many cases like FFT mods are kind of like Resident Evil mods in terms of they kind of expect you to know kind of that you should be going and cannibalizing everything along the way and all that kind of stuff. So basically what we've got in terms of advantages, let's see. By the way, if I am missing anything at any point, feel free to let me know. Obviously nothing is set in stone here. But I specifically switched these two over to soldiers just for the better bulk, to some degree anyway. In her case, let's see. Oh, I guess she can crossbow, actually. That would help to some degree, I guess. Unlike something like Cerebro, we're not going to get anything for going knife for the extra speed. This fight seems a little imbalanced considering how early it is. Yeah. Can't argue on that one, but, you know, it is what it is. Again, this is definitely doable, as we've already seen. Let's go ahead and see. Like, I feel like they probably could have maybe let you have one more dude, but at the same time, it would basically be a cakewalk if they did let you do that. Okay, so if she gets a liar, it's the same thing as the crossbow. Is there anything special to it? There's range 4, evade 5%. No, it's just a worse crossbow, so I'm not sure what the point of that is. Let's see. Item-wise, nothing really better going on here. Like, there just really isn't too much to work with as of yet. We can probably get more revive items, wherever they happen to be. Actually, if I recall correctly, we don't get revive items yet. They're not here at the moment. I feel like probably ring toss might be one way to address this whole thing. Let's give that a bit of a shot. See, all I see around me all day is badly designed apps, almost angrily not functioning as well as they could. Sounds like most apps. Alright, so either way, we put Spider in here. He's definitely the kind of ace of the squad right now. We're going to put the Party Smith in just to see if anything functions differently. I can't see them improving the situation any because they don't have a shield. I feel like shields are kind of the go-to right now in terms of being the obvious choice, and you only get a few units that you can bring along with you. Do you not need to go by the shop or something to get some more armor? That's the thing. There's no more armor in the shop right now. There are debuff items. The clown over there can use some of them. Like right now, I'm hoping that partially the answer might be to use Ring Toss on Rufus over there. So this... Oh, interesting. All right, hang on. One sec. Alrighty, and back. And yeah, same here on the debuff items. Again, I know we keep circling back to Reborn because the channel's like 80% Tactics Ogre, but that's again one of those reasons I love that game so dang much. It's just like those fun synergies they never would have thought of in earlier versions, or even in something like One Vision or whatnot. There's cases of like, okay, I have this knight over here, and they can comfortably sit safely in the front row, but then usually the complaint is, well, they don't do enough damage. I need my DPS classes, dang it. And instead you can be like, okay, they've got Phalanx, they will reduce 90% of incoming damage. What if I just have them hold a hand grenade in their hand? That's 90% of that hand grenade damage gone. At the same time, they're, you know, going and delivering debuffs and stuff like that. It's very effective. Makes challenge running that game really darn fun. And really, at the end of the day, whether or not it's fun to run is one of the huge things for me personally. Alright, this dude needs to get to doing some punching, I think. So, current plan... right here. We need to get some of these guys reduced, but not actually go for the kill as of yet. It's unfortunately a bit more risky, though. Let's see. I mean, we really should just go for the safety biles. If we open up with biles, and in fact, there's a good strategy here. They may not potentially be able to attack downwards. If we... is this enough of a height discrepancy? I feel like it might be. They might need a little bit higher, but it might be enough of a height discrepancy to potentially cause an issue for them. But what we go for is actually this corner up here. So we attempt to... whatever, let's just burn down this guy. And then we stack on this corner. Instead of going for that lady, let's see. Yeah, if we go for Light Spear, just go for Darkness here. Go for Darkness, go for the heal, and then don't move. Allows him to tank a little bit harder, and then we don't go anywhere. Sorry, trying to get back into the FFT mindset, you know? And specifically the FFT mod mindset. The 1.3 mindset, as it were. So if we set this up where we accomplish potentially a ring toss or something on this guy, right? So goal is attempt a ring toss on this guy and or blind him. We attempt to go for blinds and poisons almost exclusively, and then we attempt to pocket these two over here where nobody else can reach them, then block off this area, then go for these two, then cry as these two demolish us anyway. Whatever, one step at a time. Anyway, let's see. Probably... let's go for the bile, and go ahead and move up here. He's definitely got the tanky numbers. As long as she's only exposed on one side, that gives us something more to work with. So what do we got here? Balloon Animal, cancels Confusion, and then a Joy Buzzer, which will give CT plus 15. So, we only have... hang on. I'm thinking in TO terms, in terms of... CT's good to have in this case, because it should be the recovery time actually being essentially faster rather than slower. So, to explain the confusion real quick, in Tactics Ogre, basically the more time you have on your counter, like it counts down. In FFT, it counts up. So, this case, good. Yes? I think? Right? In this case, actually that might be our answer right there then. We Joy Buzzer you, kind of give you some better economy, and then probably attempt to, let's say, move you nowhere for the moment, because you're going to go into casting in a moment. But we maybe do this thing where we attempt to use this to inflict blindness on everybody a little bit faster, just keep, like, Joy Buzzering the entire time. So you can love debuff items, everyone just forgets them in games. Yep, usually because there's just a skill that does it instead. Again, the Tactics Ogre PSP problem of why would you ever use your debuff items when your casters could do it from a mile away with 100% accuracy. Throws Numbing Mist. I know that it means something completely different. I'm just imagining friggin' Bloodborne. Or not, was it Bloodborne or was it Sekiro that had that? Let's see, or worse for the casual gamer, they tried early and get like 5 more damage and never use them again. Yep. Basically, again, going back to Reborn, that is the elements for most folks. They try them early on, they're like, this is only like 30 damage, and then just never touch it. Alright. Mr. Rufus, how would you like to be blind? Please say that you agree. We are offering you 1 blindness, and in return, how about you just stay that way? Wait, frickin' excuse me, what? Okay, I was about to praise the mod for starting you off with a character with a specific skill with a specific attack range, so that he couldn't counter it at spear range. Why can he spear range with a dagger? What the hell is that? Okay, that's some mild bullshit. Moving on. What's this noisemaker do? MP plus 30? Oh. Sick. Alright. Well, I guess we don't need our sea shanty singer. Let's just go ahead and blow this horn to become smart. Maybe my son was onto something. Alright, so he eats Might Seed. Entire enemy squad being faster than you makes it hard to keep the enemy squads separated. Yeah, that's why we need to wall here. And I'm hoping, considering these guys haven't done anything yet, we might be onto something with this particular strategy. Because yeah, looking at it right now, it doesn't look like they can actually move from that spot. So this might be this actually might be the trick that they wanted you to find here. Please land that poison so we don't have to take an extra attack, and they didn't. Awesome. Well, in that case, this is going to be just worse overall turn economy. It's okay. We know trapping is important then. We've got that going for us, I guess. See, she fired with a crossbow. Why can't he counter it with his fist? Stay consistent, game. I know. It's because it's a skill, and it's just kind of considering it's some magical shenanigans. Anyway. Whatever. I love the way that they have this main character design, though. That mess is freaking awesome. Oh, I guess he did finally get a turn to move. How about that? Anyway, bye, Totally Not Denim. That's a Pokemon. Alright, there she goes. There the poison never goes. There. I mean, that's pretty basic, whatever. It's a bit of a nothing burger. Out of curiosity, can this dude just be sniped? Yes. Okay. So we just take out that guy and wait. I almost feel like maybe attacks are taking... So in FFT, the rule was always just different phases of your turn always are the only thing that actually add to your turn, right? Like, there hasn't been any exception for specific attacks, again, doing the Tactics Ogre thing, of, like, certain attacks taking longer to do or whatnot, because one thing that's kind of bugging me right now is what the hell happened with their turn economy in that situation? Like, it just feels like suddenly we're speeding way up despite the fact that I wasn't moving last time either. Feels like we were slowing them down somehow. Let's see. What about Bloodborne? Bloodborne's awesome. What about Bloodborne? Alright. Let's go for this one. Then if we can secure this cliffside, that'll give us something. You need to Light Spear over here. Get that Darkness going. Hopefully Darkness doesn't wear off up there. I feel like it's one of the ones that lasts a while. Anyway, he's currently blocking those two from making an approach. Top one is mostly handled. I just noticed I have my mouse over the thing. I don't know if that's been showing. Alright, so as long as he stays there, he might be able to just Darkness the other one. Let's see. His heal's going to come exactly never, so no point in bothering there. She's currently charging. Let's check something real quick. Yeah, their biles are about to go off. Let's just go ahead and revive this dude, just to waste turns, if nothing else. And yes, I am aware that in some kind of degree, because apparently I can't speak like a human being today, we're kind of doing the same thing, but we're also kind of not. Apparently we're just kind of attempting to keep pressuring with both damage and poison here, and whatever ends up landing, ends up landing. They're still laying down the numbers. We're just attempting to slow them down wherever possible. MC looks a bit like Dar from Legend of Dragoon because that is what he is. He is exactly the main character from Legend of Dragoon. At some point, somebody made a mod to insert him into FFT. I'm pretty sure he was actually in Journey of the Five, and so those files were just kind of out there. And so in this particular case, he ended up being ported into this one as just part of this mod. I feel like it feels like what they were going for was a sort of like, hey, none of this is right kind of a situation. Also, I love how last time it was 50% odds and we missed like 5 times in a row, and now they have hit every single one of these attacks. Cool, thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right, are you gonna hit us yet again? Oh no, his apparently Mug. Awesome! Not only crits, apparently Mug bypasses evasion. What the hell is that? Good lord. Okay, we might actually be hosed anyway, so that's fun. Cool. We do have some potential new ideas, though. So there's that. Also, hang on, let's... just put in random message here so that it bumps this up slightly. I just thought of the most masochistic FFT challenge run, FFT frog only. I'd be shocked if somebody hasn't done that already. Alright, right, so, the hell do we do here? I feel like our most obvious choice is to just go get you up, because you're the only one on an actual death timer, because the others are basically free, which if we can get him up and we can just keep biling everybody else, and if the poison were ever to actually roll in this particular case, that would be quite fantastic. It's currently looking a little sketchy, though. Although yeah. And she's gonna fire at the back, isn't she? No. She's gonna get that one. He's gonna counter at the very... No, he's not gonna counter it. Cool. Alright. So that's not ideal. Oh, hey, look! One of the blindnesses finally actually had a chance to do something. Oh, never mind. That's cool. 50% totally means 1 out of 6. Yes, I know. RNG's gonna RNG. Don't bitch for no reason. Yeah. Alright, but it does give us some potential new stuff to work with here. I really was expecting to see more of this mod, you know, aside from just this, you know, first tutorial area a little bit, but, hey, you got what you got, right? Alright, and by the way, again, just to clarify, the reason that I loaded this particular save file was because I already cannibalized every unit along the way through the tutorial up to this point. So if there was equipment, we bought it. If there was or at least as far as I'm aware anyway, if there was equipment, we bought it. And if there was a unit to cannibalize, we did. I think there was maybe like 1 random soldier that I missed. Okay, that makes it 1 out of 7 now for the blindness tracker. That one is not blinded, but still. Why Mug bypasses blindness, I have no idea. That's not exactly what I'd call ideal. I mean, it's nice to see that darkness doesn't wear off, but oh, Actually, I just realized they're screwed anyway, because as soon as that goes off, they're getting countered. Well, at least poison finally rolled. It's a bit late now. Oh, but theirs rolls instantly. Cool. Oh boy. Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones you kind of just like. It feels very one. Okay, it's not quite on the level of 1.3. Let's be honest, but still. There's a. Has anybody played this mod here? Out of curiosity. Have any of y'all run into this particular issue? Because there's so much more to this mod. It's got so many fun features. Overall, it seems to be based around the idea of being super fun, so what gives with this particular section? Alright. New plan. So, we're going to do the Joy Buzzer strategy. So, we go to this, we buy more Joy Buzzers, and we attempt to do the darkness thing. We attempt to take that corner a little bit faster. Part of the issue is I need to have somebody back-to-back, I think, with the main character. So we'll see what we do on that front. See, 1.3 felt easier in the beginning to me. Yeah, yeah. Up till about Meliodol 1, it was pretty doable. Alright, let's just kind of look over these characters, see what else we got to work with. Let's see, Brawler, all well and good. Anything here that might help. So we got Don't Move, it's not going to do much for him. Refill a target's MP supply, not going to help us here. Lightning, Bile. Ah! Okay, we got a winner. Okay, we got a Regenerator ready to go immediately. Let's go ahead and get that set up. That might be our win. Well, it might be our next step towards a win, kind of. So we got Joy Buzzers on you. Okay, this is confusing. When I was using it earlier, it said CT plus 15. Here it's saying CT plus 25. What the hell? What's that about? I mean, either way, let's just go buy more Joy Buzzers, first and foremost. Let's see, what does the cane do? Can be used as a walking aid, 2-handed swords, attack power, or whatever. Alright, all well and good. Let's get more Joy Buzzers. Man, these things are freaking expensive. Good lord. I feel like there's definitely going to be a money farming thing down the road, because, yeah, these things are pricey. I'm just going to buy another Noisemaker, because it was helpful last time. So I'm thinking current strategy here is we do similar to before. I have these two hold line. Replace this guy, because this guy can do the Joy Buzzer thing without sucking hard. So we have the two soldiers block. We have these two do their whole shtick off to the side. In his particular case, yeah, he's just going to counterpunch stuff. Hopefully something actually bothers to counter him. Maybe they nerfed the buzzer and forgot to change the text. Maybe. Let's see. Can we equip anything else on you? Oh, I'm just stupid. He could have used the shield this whole time, so that would definitely have helped. He can do a foam dome, but that would lose him some MP. That matters a lot here. Same thing for the armor. Honestly, health-wise, he's fine. Alright, so, generalized kind of overall stupidity aside, that's going to be an improvement. Maybe I should have her run the crossbow instead of him, because he's got counter. So you're fine, because you're not really doing anything in this fight. So in his case, do we maybe want to go for something like this? Maybe give his armor to somebody else. Because that would give her armor. Yeah, in his case, he's barely tanking anyway, so we go ahead and move his armor over to her. Gives her technically one less revive, but also potentially just enough health to make things work. Alright. Alright, it's possible that'll do the trick right there. Yeah, I feel like an idiot that I've been here sitting for so dang long and never actually checked to see if they could equip the shield. I just assumed they couldn't. Anyway. I don't know why I assumed that, because spears were one-handed. For FFT, but I will. Alright. Let's do this again. And then we might be rewarded with more potential cutscene. Although the name is very accurate, reaching the future appears to be a bit of a difficult task. Which is fine. It happens. Okay. It's a roadblock, yada yada. There's no road here, though. Let's continue on. But yeah, so the thing with FFT is just it gave you technically more stuff early on. In this case, though, if this is shaping up how I think it's shaping up, it is possible that they might give you just enough, because they do give you a bit of a money dump right before this section without actually opening up anything new in the shop. So this could be a way for them to try and signal, hey, use more debuff items. We'll see. Because the join buzzer in particular, it seems weird that that's something that you start with. So we'll see if that does the trick. Bear in mind, you can't buy more revive items up to this point, so rations are going to be your main way of doing that. Yada, small chance to dodge, but he does get his regenerator. So that's something. That could definitely do the trick here. But it feels like him comboing his items and everything else could be just what we need here. His regenerator plus plus the blind stab plus the items. Again, it should be just what we need. Maybe, hopefully. Right, you can maybe not crit, so we can have a little bit of hope. That'd be fantastic. Hey, look, we found a fawn in the woods. Why can't you counter with your own throwing stone? Okay. So, they're going to be blinded. What can you even do in this case? Feels like bile is the main way forward here. Because we burned those ones, and then... How do we really want to do this, though? So I feel like he needs to just be rolling for biles and kind of body blocking. So go there, attempt to roll for the poison, and just wait. Your sea shanty, we don't need that right now. We go for more bile in this particular direction. Specifically that guy. If we can run him down, that'll give us some. Spear. Probably just leave him where he is, and then just joy buzzer him out of his current state. Give him the blood capsule, regenerate to full health from there. So I guess it's just one extra health left over, so that's not super useful. Oh, interesting. Regeneration actually gives you MP in this one. Okay, that's something. Does Throwstone have knockback? I don't know. Maybe we still go back to the old, more aggressive strategy here. For that one. Main reason I'm putting him off to the side here is I'm thinking, what if he can go after Rufus once he ends up turning? Alright, go run her down. Only because I know she's going to drop an 18. So we get that, we get the bile, do we get the poison? No. Because they're dead. Not playing terribly well, but still, this could potentially be an improvement. Okay. Elementals, do we go to the heal? I mean, it might matter 3 years from now. Bile... Yeah, Bile feels like it's very fast. So you Bile in that direction. You've got your heal, that's not necessarily going to help us. Seacraft isn't going to help us. Right, you also Bile. They're just sitting and shooting, I guess. Bring the threaded cane. They're not beasts, though. We don't get the extra. We don't get the extra bonus here. Okay, so we do the same approach as last time here, but this time we do it slightly different, kind of. We still blind this guy because he's fast and annoying and all up everywhere. Please, please, please don't counter. Okay, that works out nicely. Granted, we blocked it last time anyway. Go for the Noisemaker. Okay. Most of the units are blocking each other right now. You could just poison once, that'd be cool. There we go. Because they get the poison, and that should be enough to maybe kill him off at the end of his turn. Actually, how much is poison even doing this time around? Because I was going to say poison should be doing like 10-ish, but like, it's never been super threatening, but you got what you got. Also, I love how they still have the FFT 1.3 like double crossbow number thing. Charge, that's fine. They just do more early on. They definitely have a lot of rush potential. Definitely the problem with the sea shanty strategy early on is that I kept giving them more power attacks. So that wasn't great. Okay, so he's at 25. Yeah, it does like 8. Oh, it melts their MP too. Okay, that's nice. I do really like that change. Not sure what the cat in a box has to do with anything. And if I apologize to these messages one message late, you can see on the side exactly why, because I'm seeing the exact same thing. Alright, heal seems functionally worthless. Charge attack, is there any good charge attack you can do, or does he just ration? I feel like he just rations here. Thankfully both tiles do the same thing. So you ration up. It's only 10 health, but it is something. Okie doke. So, stones, we got some rations, we got some biles. Rufus, why are you always so fast? Alright. You attempt to heal this guy, maybe he'll survive one attack. Because if he can survive one attack and counter, that'll be something. We gotta block off Rufus for now. This gives an attempt on target because they're charging, and he's going to completely ignore that. Cool. Oh, he missed. It's a miracle! The mechanics are working! That feels overly harsh, but still. Like, how is there so much love going into this whole thing, and then at the same time, like, why are we starting like this exactly? Alright. We got Bile. I'm just going to get a counter if he does that. Can you just punch this guy? Yes. There we go. Problem solved with Fist. Body block here. That should keep her some level of safe. And Bile on you. These get poisoned. Not that it's necessarily going to be the thing that saves us, but it's something. Right, you take a quick little lighty stab. You stab right here. Give some darkness. Of course you blocked it. Why wouldn't you? You guys are going to roll 8% all day. You go screw yourselves. Alright. Additional comment for algorithm engagement. We had algorithms. Alright. Okay. Well, poison happens. That's fun. Right. Well, that's fine. They seem to love having a permanent dirt nap. Yeah. A little bit tight for this early. I'm sure that more than likely it's very, very possible that the time loop that they were talking about was the starting the game from scratch the whole time. I doubt it, because, again, time loop mechanic was supposed to be a big part of this. This also definitely gives a bit of a memorable moment, I suppose. Trying to stay positive on all of this. Alright, let's see. Those two are not on death timers. Who's coming up? All our turns are currently coming up. Let's see, what's their health looking like? You're still full. You're about halfway. You're mostly full. You're the crossbow lady. Any way to still salvage this is the question. Because in this case, rations aren't really necessarily going to help us. Feels like offense should be the key here. I don't know why I said that one was halfway. They're not halfway. That's just my brain being dumb. It happens sometimes. You gotta reboot it a little bit. Let's see. We can just charge attack right in the face. We mostly just waste MP, so that's that was smart. Let's see. If they get trapped in the hole, that's something. He's in a hole, just need to put dirt on him. That's the dream, right? Alright, yeah, this is weird. I know I'm missing something very obvious. Let's see, anyone seen the new VTuber twins? I don't know what... I don't watch freaking VTubers. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. Alright, let's see. Blind you. That takes away his ability to do that same thing next turn, but he needs to heal. So he takes the heal. Now we do that. Keeps him up and operating. So, either way, by this point, he's still functioning well. Actually, this gives him just enough to do one more light stab. Go ahead and... Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something here. It feels like Vile's doing more from behind, though, so that's something to consider. Leave him charging, just in case they want to go ahead and target him, because he's got maximum health right now. Probably definitely should be switching him out for a different weapon, though. Though it feels like charging and then leaving him as bait for the crossbow is potentially some tech there. He might get finished here. Yep. This is the charge attack modifier. Or the charge time modifier thingy. He's weird. He's definitely weird. Alright. We've got rations, though, so we go ahead and ration up you. It's like... Oh no, their turns are backwards. I was gonna say that the squires always move right next to each other, but in her case, she was the one that moved second, so this might kind of backfire here. Anyway, this guy's up and running and able to do some shenanigans. So if we... This actually is still winnable right now, if everything goes how I'm thinking it's going. Let's go ahead and blind you. It doesn't look like blind wears off, alright? So we've got blindness there. Now we're going to go ahead and use a noisemaker. It's going to be relatively slow, but that's alright. So use the noisemaker. Actually, now that I think about it, there's potentially a way the hell easier strategy I'm not even considering. Okay, if this falls off... Nice. If this falls off, I'm just going to do the far easier thing of just taking the main character, putting him over in the side corner there, and that's kind of the plan. He sits over here in this tile. Crossbow can't attack. Everybody else can't ranged attack. He just stabs and blood vials over and over. So give that a shot. Anyway, he can get a bile off before anything else happens, so... You just go ahead and bilify this dude. And then additionally, if you could go ahead and... Let's see, he's got movement in both these directions. If he body blocks right here, that should hopefully prevent them from reaching that body over there. Given the current darkness status on him, maybe there's a chance he survives. Yeah, this is actually doable right now. Okay, and then he does not turn on his regenerator. I dropped a box. Actually, drop boxes are looking a bit more useful to me right now. Got a low roll, so he survives. Okay, this is looking. All right. Whatever. This is still looking good. We still have means of reviving. Love how this whole thing is just going to turn into managing to survive a single frickin' map. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get you up. There's one hell of a tutorial if this is actually the attempt here. Okay. I mean, I guess at least Poison got kind of sort of buffed a little bit. Alright. He's currently in rough shape. One noisemakers, we got multi-stabs. Okay. We could probably go ahead and wipe this guy out. Makes a bit more to work with. There we go, 18, plus we do the regular stab on it. Actually, no, that's going to crit. Not that it necessarily helps us, because he's still active. Okay, whatever. One regular stab. I was very, very ready for him to go and block that. Thankfully, Rufus is still blind for the time being. This is actually looking realistic somehow. Anyway, so First Aid basically got replaced with Heal. So First Aid is on a charge timer. That's more or less what we're looking at here. Go ahead and pick up that hat. You stay just within range to still get targeted by stuff. Crossbow probably fires on not dart. We'll see how that plays out. And her blindness is gone. Okay, cool. So we need to deal with that. Honestly, if somebody dies, they die. I've got an extra character. Alright. Rufus has 2 turns near back-to-back. Yeah, he's been doing that this whole time. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Alright. You're going to ration basically just a free revive here. She potentially might be able to get a fast bile off. So you go over here, take this one. What kind of abilities are we talking about? Just Icicle? I know that supposedly you get all of them anyway, but to me it always felt like a choice when they were asking that. Let's see, Darkening the Archer as soon as possible seemed very effective. Yeah. Anyway, darkness wore off. Okay, alright. Let's see, how fast can you sing? Thankfully, extremely, because this is looking dire. Okay. You go here. What's the vertical tolerance on this thing? Vertical 4. Okay, vertical tolerance is good, and you move here. This sea shanty might actually be the key to winning right now. Yay! We found some blood on the ground. Let's eat it. Sea shanty. See, she still had darkness. It's just hitting an enemy something I can't see because the box is blocking it. He's also hit by it because he was using Mug. If I use this on him, problems occur. So Rufus is basically out of the question for the time being. We'll go ahead and attack this one. Alright. We'll do that one. He needs to heal, though. Okay, this does feel like the attempt, though. No way in hell would I have expected it to take this long, but this does feel like the attempt. Let's see, let's see. Oh yeah, right. They're hitting a casting unit. Forgot about that. Sweet 47%. As the joke goes, it's always 0% when you're doing it, and 99 when they are. Not actually. Obviously, the numbers are still stacking up like they normally do. But hey, you gotta add some smarm in there every now and then. How is the vertical forgiveness on this? Vertical 2. Okay. I kind of love that. The Monk Revive in classic FFT just always gives me PTSD from the number of times that I had like a great plan in mind as a kid, and then it always came down to a one vertical difference between them and the unit they were trying to revive, and God forbid they look up slightly. They're like, oh, I'm sorry, they're gonna die because this ground isn't flat enough. I need to get a landscaper in here, then maybe I can help you. Okay. Now, out of curiosity, if he were to go for Sonic Thrust, does this avoid counters? Okay, always knocks the target back. Now, how would that interact with this situation? I feel like this would end up giving him more, no? Because he's still going to have enough to continue his onslaught next round, but if we do something like this... Okay, it's not going to do anything extra. It was worth a shot. Probably should have just attacked from the back then. And then we'll just do 12. Alright, and then I'm thinking we probably do regular stab into a darkness stab, and that should be him finished. I can hope anyway. Heal is still going to take ages in his case. Alright, also we have plenty of revives left, so we should probably be doing a bit more offense here. Thinking Rufus is definitely our primary target for the time being, though. Yeah, 12. Should be able to go for a speedy, or not a speedy stab, but a dark stab into a heal on not Dart, but he's also Lavitz, but he's also something else. Okay, there's the guard. Yeah, she does still have darkness, so darkness doesn't appear to be able to fall off. And I know this is going to be a bit of a well-done moment, considering it's the skill that he started with, but look at this situation. I assumed this was going to be a turn economy fight. But it basically seemed to be coming down to sacking the 2 extras, and then getting rid of these guys' attacks as much as possible. This is definitely one hell of an introduction, I gotta say. Alright. Anyway, I'm not... oh, shoot, I can't even reach him at this point. Alright, well, she needs to go, so I'm just gonna Sonic Stab this. Sonic Thrust does the 5. The next one should finish. It's a nice little tap extra. Still puts him in a little bit of a risky range health-wise, but I'm hoping he should be more than fine. Because if they, like, double crit him or something, then that would be the attempt pretty well scuffed. Hopefully not, though. Alright, Rufus, how would you like to do something fun? It's called getting shot in the face. I'm looking to redecorate my forest, man. And you're looking like just the right color of red. There we go. Are you going to miss with that stone throw? Or the crossbow? Dandy. Alright. Janet, would you like to do the honors and consume the corpse? Alright, let's see what we got here. What kind of abilities? Just restores? Okay, that's not great. Rationify this dude. Now we wait for the last one to bleed out, and we're good. Yeah, probably just do some heals on themselves, see if that ends up dragging the archer a little bit forward. Just gonna take him out of one-shot kill range so we don't have to go through the menus again. I feel like he's kind of running his own system, so I'm not going to worry about picking up any additional skills on him. So Regenerator combo is pretty legit. You additionally will go this way, and you're going to see about intentionally getting yourself shot. So we do this, we do a bit of healing. There we go. Look at that nice, meaty 100%. You know you want to take that. I mean, you know you take that. You want to take that. That's 100%. Nice. 8 health. Man. Sure glad I put heal on you. Yeah, that'll do it. Thank you for offering yourself up here. Then we'll just go ahead and revive him real quick. Nice little AI manipulation going on there. There we go. So, how asleep is everybody in the chat there? Is everybody sufficiently either pissed off or gone or dozed off. Man, this mod though. As I was expecting a fun, joyous adventure with lots of goofy shenanigans. Didn't expect those goofy shenanigans to involve ripping out everyone's eyeballs so we have a chance. I'm sorry, sir. We need to gouge your eyes out with a spear. Otherwise, this isn't going to work. I'm just going to have to take my word for it. Original FF1 had no Phoenix Downs. Go guarded. Now we just wait. This feels like we should set up an infinite JP farm right now, just to, just kind of because. Just to get more out of this situation. But we're just going to wait for that one unit to bleed out over there. Wait, you attempt to heal. I'm hoping with everything as it is. Yeah, he's got just enough to make this happen. Still here? Alright. Well, glad to hear at least some folks made it through all of this unexpected suffering quest over here. All the portraits are smiling, but not the people staring at them, apparently. Let's go ahead and do more heals on you. I don't know what's going on with the sea shanty lady, but she feels to me like somebody that's just going to get, like, plot demolished at some point. So I'm not even going to bother with that whole situation. If she gets extra stuff, she gets extra stuff, but until then, she's meat. I don't know. Something about that character feels like something bad's gonna happen. You know? Alright. Mr. Guy, though, I mean, feels like they're... Okay, you're just gonna drop a box. That's really what we're doing. Although we got an extra shield, I'll take that right now. Honestly, I kind of appreciate those moments when you can really appreciate the like the kind of more mundane like item drops and things like that. All right. Anyway, thank you. Have a dead day. Oh, Rufus didn't bleed out yet. Fine. Exactly. Feed him to the frickin' wolves, man. So I'm assuming what's going to happen here is if they are doing this whole time loop situation, I'm assuming this is going to come down to, like, you come back in New Game Plus and interrogate these guys or something because they turned out to be way more important or who knows what. See, Pyrite Dagger, Work Gloves, I don't know what those are. Eyes are tired. Happens. Alright, let me save this real quick and then I gotta be right back. Not even gonna give us a cutscene? How rude. Alright. Save that right there. Alright. Giving me the latest sister vibes? Yeah, me too. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but something... It just feels like something's gonna happen there. Anyway, be right back. Alrighty, let's continue on here. Kind of running a little bit dinky on time, but hey, you know what? We're going to try to make this work. So, first of all, what the hell is this knife that they gave us here? So, Pyrite Dagger, otherwise known as Fool's Knife, named as such for the material that the blade has been crafted with. Attack power and evade. Okay, so just slightly better evasion, I guess. Out of curiosity, how much is the evasion on this? Yeah, it's just a slightly better evasion knife. I mean, that feels like an improvement in her case. Although, wait a minute. Wide blade used for slaying, cheap, ordinary sword, low attack power. Sword's got better evasion, so that's not necessarily going to help there. Some minor improvements for the party smith. What else do we get out of that situation? Let's see, just the regular foam dome. Got some armor. Alright, what do these gloves do? They cancel earth, made for getting dirty in the garden and the battlefield. Strengthens earth, weak to water. Cancels earth. Okay. Do we have anybody that uses earth? Not quite yet, anyway. We'll keep that in mind. Whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and see what we got ability-wise here. So what the hell's a Paragon? Martyrdom. Sacrifice one zone well-being to 8 allies. Caster takes max HP divided by 5 damage, so just say 20%. So, okay. There's that. Incoming with a word. Warn allies of incoming attacks. Add reflect. Okay. Command lowers faith level of all in the area. Interesting. Bestow honor. Bestows battlefield honors to a target. Adds re-raise. Advance. Command raises brave level of all in the area by raising confidence. Brave plus 20. Fall back. Command lowers brave level in an area. Brave minus 20. With spirit is faith plus 20. Angelic bond. Protection from death. Adds raise from physical attacks, so just auto re-raise. Unyielding, unit becomes immortal and cannot perish in battle. Immortal units are immune to knockback, instant death, undead, petrify, bloodsuck, chicken, frog, charm, and death sentence. This is concerningly cheap, and I wonder why it's so cheap. That's concerning. Anyway, move HP up. Okay. Let's see, White Knight abilities. Defender. Causes you and surrounding allies to enter a defensive stance. Gives protecting and defending. Range self. Okay. Two horizontal, 1 vertical. Interesting. Nighthawk, aim a fierce strike at a target out of arm's reach. That sounds familiar. Man strike, aim at a blow at their magical supply. MP5, accumulate, charge up one's power to raise physical attack. Sounds like it's the same. Backdraft, hit a target with a reckless attack, causing half the damage to be dealt to the user. So this is exactly the same thing as FFTA. Head break, armor break, shield break, we know. Challenge, berserk. Okay. Chicken versus frogs wins? I have no idea. A save, raises physical attack power on HP damage. That would be absolutely cracked on this guy right now. Weapon guard, parry with equipped weapon. I kind of want to go for that, actually. Defense up, physical attack damage is lessened. Conservation alpha. End a turn without acting awards plus 40 CT instead of 20. This bonus is cancelled by don't act. Alright, interesting. Okay, what do those look like, out of curiosity? Paragon is a level 3 soldier. White Knight is a level 3 soldier. Okay. Just everything is new. Alright, let's see what we got for this soldier man over here, who can become a Paragon, and I think that's what we're going to do with him. There's some stuff I'd like him to learn as a soldier, but eh. That being said, I do want him to get backdraft and, if he can, defender here. Switch over to White Knight. Fundamentals are... No, he needs basics, not fundamentals. That doesn't get confusing at all. Alright. Let's go ahead and switch you over to that... Sorry, that version of the Party Smith just... There's facing in different directions depending on where you're looking at any given time. It just looked funny to me. Let's go ahead and give the soldier lady the crossbow here. That way he gets a sword. don't really have a helmet. Foam Dome is on you. Why don't you equip this hat? Go ahead and give some useful units over here. They're Foam Dome. God, what the hell is this loadout? Alright, ability-wise, he needs... Let's see. Yeah, he needs his basics over here. So that's fine there. And then you have not learned any of this stuff yet. So you've got Charge Check, you've got Counter, you've got Card. I feel like that's going to become a bit more relevant, so I'm just going to put that on her. Especially now that she's running Crossbow. Party Smith hasn't done anything. Brawler guy basically just died, and that was about it. When it says aid allies, what the hell does that mean? Like, how much aiding are we talking about? Yeah, add Reflect. Definitely for him, because fundamentals aren't working too great for him. We'll switch him out for leadership. For Brawler abilities, nothing you can really learn yet. White Knight, Weapon Guard, sure. In fact, I forgot to set Weapon Guard over on the other one there. And that was Weapon Guard is his fist, so I'm not really entirely sure how that works. It just feels like Weapon Guard just generally does a seemingly better job than, or I would assume it would do a better job than something like Counter in this case, because they do not seem to be taking anything from Counter. Let's see. Learn some abilities on you, which basically amounts to nothing, so that's just... Again, everything about this lady just screams like they're going to get smushed at some point, and we're not going to be able to do anything about it. Like, they're giving me, I'd say that they're kind of giving me Ravenous vibes right now. Alright. Alright. Take Rufus with us. He's overpowered. God, if only. I don't even think we need Orlando here. We need just friggin' Time God Rufus. You know what? In fact, I'm gonna have to make a Synergy of the Day video of just the Rufus build in Tactics Ogre Reborn. Stage 2 of Fight Begins. I know, we can accomplish a whole new map. How about that? Yeah, they made the knife out of fool's gold, exactly. I don't know what that says in Spanish. Something about a frog. Oh yeah, frog versus chicken. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so their ambassador got attacked, and she was just the only survivor. The ambassador died. And those are the assholes that we were talking about almost 3 hours ago when we were trying to clear out that frickin' forest. Alright, is it gonna happen right now? Is she gonna turn out to be a spy? I forget what the relic even is. Okay, so... Oh yeah, so they're basically... They're trying to win an AoE 2 relic victory, I guess, is what they're going for. And I guess we're just over here playing as the Goths. We're just trying to extend the relic victory as long as possible. Let's see, you can see the Berserk skill on the Knight would be very useful. Very well might be. Especially in that last case. Alright. Roasted. Let's see, first live stream I've been able to catch when the 7 Hells this. This is FFT Reach the Future. It is a very extensive mod that has been thoroughly whooping my ass for the last 3 hours. So there's that. Let's see, in FF10-2, Warrior has a skill that protects Haste Berserks the whole party. Yeah, 10-2's got some wild synergies. Let's see. Something about the stories, about magic powers, lay dormant for a while, something, they took their shiny objects, and they can't figure out whether they actually have any magic powers to them. Ignore all the magical stuff everywhere, it's fine, don't worry about it. But they don't want them to get that relic victory, so they're just kind of using them to generate gold every few seconds, you know. There's that. This dude is still over here like, dude, they killed all our dudes and stabbed us in the back so many times, but shouldn't we give peace a chance? This is exactly, why is your dad French, man? Alright. Forge peace with neighbors, something about allies to the west or whatnot. And then they tell you to leave. And then shiny guy that looks like that other guy that's not shiny. It just goes back to talking, I guess. Was that a female mime? Yes, it was. The party smith did not help us get out of that frickin' forest. Also, I love how you can tell the walking pattern on this feels very, very similar to almost like it was reused from that one scene with Delita and all them coming out of the manor. Oh, please, please tell me that they reuse the exact same animations here. Who's gonna choke somebody out? Yeah, because they're even doing the little walk forward. Okay, so he's just really into defending his dad. No, okay, no, they are doing different stuff because he's crossing his arms over there. And, yeah, pretty much. I mean, their whole shtick so far has been just, like, showing up and killing everybody, so I'm not really sure anybody would take that seriously. And a time mage, apparently. No idea who this is supposed to be. They still stuck playing messenger, here to dispense some official council business. You are to go to Arden, wherever that is. Apparently they're off in FF land somewhere. Due to some threats or something. They gotta go look at some sweet instruments or something. Don't want the windfish waking up. And then they get more instructions from a place that they apparently no longer control. This is fine. Okay, and she's getting kicked out of the party, apparently. Okay, so I guess she was like their coworker or something? Or I guess was the missing third wheel of their party. Okay, so she wants to see the cool instrument. She is here to steal it, isn't she? Yeah, this is seeming sketchy. She is, she's totally gonna stab us in the back, isn't she? Like, don't tell me if I'm completely off the mark. I want to be surprised. And also, there's a pretty good chance that whatever the next fight is, we're gonna get stuck for the next 8+ hours on it again. Celia's gonna... See, here's the thing. Is Celia gonna get choked, or is she the one doing the choking? That's the question. And for that matter, who's into all that? Anyway, let's go ahead and save it. For that matter, don't answer that question. Sometimes you don't want to know. Alright. Let's carry on. Alright, first of all, please tell me you actually have some gear. No. It's still just the same stuff. Although we can get more pikes, so... give me at least a couple of them, because we got some new dudes that can use pikes. Another foam dome, just in case they end up getting their new stuff here. Another set of armor, for good reason. Extra foam dome just for safety. It feels like the kind of thing where your stuff's going to be pretty limited. 2 more of these, just so we have a chance to repeat that same strategy from last time. I know that I could have just gone and equipped it straight to them, but feeling cautious, you know? Alright, first of all, can you replace this with a pike, please? It'll give you less evasion, but more potential safety pokes, so that would be handy. In your case, I mean, crossbow's good on you, that's fine. Foam dome in your case. You can't equip the armor, though. Can't equip a shield. What good are you again? I don't know. Can't dual wield. Brawler guy unfortunately can't do the Captain America. Oh, wait, he can do the Captain America. Okay, good. So we got that. Can improve this guy a decent chunk. Hopefully he can proceed to suck a decent bit less. And I guess you get a crossbow or something. Anyway, yeah. Over-under on her stabbing us in the back? I'm feeling like 100% on this particular occasion. as you saw, we got some new bits and pieces, but we're still burning through items faster than we can reasonably replenish them. Anyway. Some kind of over the government is bad shocker. I know, see, I think that's part of the reason why when in Felseal, they kind of did the total opposite. It kind of felt good for once, where it's like, sure, there was technically a bad entity, and then at the same time, all the rest of that same group stepped in of like, hey, maybe we should do something about that. Like, pretty much immediately. And for the first half of it, they still have to respect the rules and whatnot. Anyway, I don't know. They need new twists in this genre. Actually, I think that's probably what makes XCOM 2 also kind of in that same vein. Of just like, hey, look, you can actually trust the official group here for once. Let's see, first live stream I've been able to catch. Oh, wait, you already said that. I already read that. Was that female mime doing the Zoolander blue steel look over her shoulder? Yes, it's the only thing possibly keeping them alive here. She's here watching the tail end of the party. Alright, she's going to teach us the basics of sailing. This isn't RuneScape. I know the skill just came out, but come on. Anything would be better than riding these ugly chickens. And so anyway, this is why we're going to let Guy get executed at the soonest opportunity. Let's see, what's her name? Celia, like Marquis Almdor's assassin. Celia and Lade, is this a That's why she looks familiar. She's 100% going to screw us over. So, no, this is supposed to be like, it's not a prequel, it's not anything, and we're about to learn about the minigame. Hell yeah, we're about to learn about the minigame. Okay, this is frickin' weird is what this is. This game is basically, or this mod is not even a prequel or a sequel or any, I don't know what it is. It's like a weird time loop fever dream of God knows what, of every single mod for FFT to some degree. There's stuff that deliberately seems to not make sense for the purpose of not making sense, like Dart over there, who is also a spear guy, who is also Ashley Riot, or Denim over there, who's also Hitmonchan, who's also apparently a, what was it, Tales of, or Mana, or something, whatever character. Anyway. Make her powerful enough to do the choking. You wouldn't know a good game if it hits you in the face whenever you try to talk to a Triangle Strategy fan. Oh, man, I'm needlessly mean to that game, but I also don't like it very much. Do we have clowns? I mean, Squirtflower? Yes, we do have clowns. Let's see. A game that hits you in the face. That's why Game Boys aren't allowed in the pocket anymore. Yay! Triple Triad happened. All right. Celia does seem like back row support, kind of. Okay. Any kind of morally gray makes these games better? Yeah, pretty much. Like, okay. That's again, another, like, I know I inevitably end up saying pretty much everything is like Tactics Ogre, because everything's a Tactics Ogre, but, like, thinking about how neutral route goes, like, specifically the... Nice, way to Jack in the Box. How you specifically just have those moments of just, like... where you get through all of it, and you directly trust the people that are supposed to be in charge and everything, and they succeed in what they do, it's just that everybody dies in the process. It's like, technically speaking, they were morally terrible, but they did do their job. It's just kind of funny. Anyway, okay, we're gonna bait this chicken. I'm assuming that's probably gonna be a safe action. That chicken has super low health. That's almost concerning how low health they have, actually. What is the deal? Something's going on here. That was a Black Waltz. Kill it? No. For no apparent reason, no. One thing I like is apparently getting cut off by text. Right, do the combo spear, do the dark on you. If the poison lands, which we're not going to trust the poison, but I'm just going to go ahead and give you a second stabby stab. I'm going to put Mr. Not Dart right up front here, doing the same old shenanigans that he was doing last time, so that hopefully he can use his regeneration for his free MP, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, Backdraft, Defender, oh yeah. Defenders protect. I really like the White Knight so far. Just based entirely on their skill list. Seems pretty freaking solid. Probably getting a little aggressive here, but whatever, it's fine. Safety Bile? No. You just go ahead and wait. Alright. Let's see, oh, green cow card? Gotcha. One of her units does actually have card on them. I want to say it was the female soldier. See, one thing I like in neutral route is that everybody treats you like a piece of shit. I mean, to be fair, politics in general, right? No, don't you miss, please. Okay, well, they missed the stop part of that anyway. Let's see, leading the burbs, but that's a bull demon. It's not a cow demon. That's bovine discrimination or something. Okay. Now, can we do the old poach thing? Also, their revive timer is only 2. That's interesting. But I wonder if we can do the old poach thing of just reviving them and then instantly poaching them. Might be the way to go. So I like how TO treats lawful and chaos as alignments, not morality. Very exactly. Alright. Let's see what we do here. Right, so chickens feel fast but fragile. No poison there. It does feel like they should be easy enough to finish off, but let's go ahead and see. You're the one with the card. Okay, so Janet's the one that needs to be killing stuff. Yeah, these guys have super low health. This is shockingly... yeah, this is looking way easier by comparison. Alright. So she should be able to crossbow that guy next turn. Just go ahead and light spear this one. That'll put them into, hopefully, dark. Probably run around to the side. That should just put them into range, because I'm thinking if they attack from the back... Actually, no, just attack from the front. Huh. Probably should have used that turn to set up a horn. Oh well. Now, let's see. Lawful people can be morally horrible, and there can be good chaotic people, likely to them being healers. The chocobos are solid supports, so the berserk still may be effective. Okay. Fair enough, I suppose. Yeah, no, as far as the whole religious morality thing, like, I remember just all of the stuff growing up in Catholic school and whatever else, and then the not even being shocked when it turned out that the priest running the school turned out to do exactly what you'd assume that he got accused of doing. Which made all of the awkward moments that they ran up to go hug all the kids even weirder than they already were. But, you never know. It's almost like leaving an entire, like, your entire kind of employee pool there extremely deprived. Might lead to some downsides. Who'd have thunk it? War crimes is just personal taste. I mean, hey, if it's true, it's true. Alright. Choco Cure, that puts him out of range for the crossbow kill, but the other chicken's all fair game. Alright, let's see what we're rocking here. One of them's named Lightning Bolt. You're named Lightning Bolt. That's cool. Okay. Anyway, you're going to go ahead and see Shanty, though. They're probably going to run away, do a bit of healing if I were to guess. Yeah, they're just going to run and heal. Well, I guess that throws our whole card strategy out the window a little bit. Ooh, well... Okay. So, new plan. What do we got here? We got you, that's currently at range. Physical attack-wise, we've got... I forget exactly how this all calculates. I don't know why I'm even assuming that I'm going to be able to figure anything out there. So we've got the quick thrust for the quick knockback. So either way, we're not really getting countered. Okay, we're just going to go for this one. Because we just do... Actually, I just moved him out of MP range. Gotta love the stupid. Stupid definitely happens sometimes. And I keep expecting to get additional damage from possible knockbacks, but, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Speaking of war crimes, a certain bunny VTuber was... I have no idea. Anything VTuber related, I have no freaking clue. Let's see. 123. Can you... Let's see. I'm assuming this shot will probably be invalid. This feels like this would probably get blocked. Alright. I'm just gonna go for something like this and see what ends up shaking out. Not much. That's what ends up shaking out. Bit of a funny side note, though. I ended up setting up that whole thing with the Joy Buzzers last time. Never used a single one. That was worth doing. Alright. Anyway, let's go ahead and punch this one, put him into range. Hopefully the chicken won't be interested in healing. Just in general, despite the amount of potential cheese on this guy's skill list, he's pretty kind of iffy so far. No shanties. Don't want any biles, not really. I think you just crossbows. Do whatever that gives you. 12, worthless. Awesome. Alright, wasn't expecting a charm. Kinda sorta regretting unbinding the fast forward button on my emulator around this point. Okay. Let's see, I lost my way with religion, but I think that message of morals people can learn from are valuable. Yeah, same here. Like when it's used like it's a tool like anything else. Like when used correctly, yeah, they can be a great thing, and then you know, emphasis on used correctly is the thing. Okay. You know, that actually kind of works out because I was going to have her do that anyway. See, like, I grew up in Catholic school and all that. Used to play violin in the church and used to sing in the orchestra, or not the orchestra, used to sing in the church choir. Used to do all that, and like was an altar boy growing up and all that. But like, it's just like one of those things where the lessons are technically valuable, and then you look back on it, and just the amount of utter hypocrisy in a lot of those cases is just mind-boggling, you know? Like, even back then, it never occurred to me why it constantly rubbed me the wrong way. But, like, yeah, there's cases where they're like, oh, you know, be humble, you know, make sure to always donate to the church or whatnot, and then you go over to where you're supposed to get dressed for the you know, like altar serving stuff and whatnot. And it's like, oh yeah, you don't go to the area where all the priests are. Why do you not go where that is? No one gives you an answer, and then you notice one day that like they got a freaking like flat screen surround system, you know, fancy couch in there. And it's like, oh yeah, the church is looking pretty dire, but sure glad to see that they've got the money to throw at all this stuff, you know. It's just. It's not ideal. It is what it is. Whatever. Okay. Let's see. How do we get this lady back up? I guess we just bullet punch and hope for the best. Just barely survived. Okay. Perfect. So then we'll go over there. We do the bile. Probably the chicken, because they keep healing. See that on having good grandparents? Yep. definitely an invaluable resource. It's one of those cases where it's like you know that it's 100% without strings attached most of the time. Alright, these chickens are... Well, I should probably stop trying to attempt to catch them immediately is the problem. Because I'm not killing this stuff. Like, I'm gonna at least attempt to capture the green cow over there. But for the time being, we need to start focusing on winning this thing rather than trying to catch everything right from the get-go. So recommend Thiology. That's what you call evenings with the significant other. That's messed up. Anyway, it's forcing the children. It's the kids. See, it's kind of it's not kind of. It's extremely messed up in terms of all that stuff. But on top of that, there's a lot of kind of like trying to treat innocence as this like pure, untouchable thing that only they can provide. You know, I don't know how exactly you'd describe that, but it's screwy. Like it's trying to kind of pretend to be the ultimate source of something that they really aren't. I mean, don't get me wrong though. Growing up, it depends entirely on the church in question. Like when I was growing up, there were two churches that I had gone to, right? And one of them was this one with all the sketchy stuff. That was also the one that my school was at. But the other one was one run by a guy that frankly could have been a comedian. By all accounts, the dude was freaking hilarious. And clearly, the whole thing was a passion project for them. Like this was the kind of guy that basically embodied what Christianity in that case actually was. Where, for example, it was interesting to see this juxtaposition where this other church, where they kept asking and pushing for donations all the time, doing fundraisers constantly, where in their particular case, they lived in the heart of the worst part of the city there, and yet it seemed like they never really did anything to actually help out the homeless population over there. Whereas this other church, for example, even when stuff was super dire, the church ended up getting robbed multiple times, and every time they did that, they're like, oh, they must be struggling. Okay, let's go set up a buffet for them outside. It's just like, open up the doors, let everybody in, robbed us, all well and good, whatever. You left your graffiti over there, that's a bit rude, why don't you go clean that up, please? But other than that, you just come on in, have all this food and whatever else, we'll give you whatever we can give you. Like, they were absolutely embodying what it actually meant to, be a good Catholic in that case. But either way, this stuff can go all over the dang place. I know, like my mom growing up was definitely one of those that was firmly on that side of praise me because I'm religious, please clap kind of a situation, and would constantly screw everybody in their orbit over. Like, for the dumbest, most petty reasons, they would find some way to screw somebody over in the name of God, so to speak, it is what it is. Faith is a tool like anything else. And that's the way I see it. Alright, let's see here. And yeah, I know that there were a bunch of comments to read up there. My throat was getting a little dry there. Right. Just noticed I kind of have no way to revive them, do I? Might have screwed this up. Let's see. So just learning about this for the first time. Is it complete? I googled and I think I saw chapter 1 was the only complete chapter. Is it? I think you might be thinking of Journey of the Five. Jeez. Okay. Dogs are doing something sketchy over there. No, this is Reach the Future. It's not Journey of the Five. JOTF, as far as I'm aware, was the one that had chapter 1 completed. And then I think some other folks stepped in and tried to do other chapters, and then other folks did alternative versions of those chapters or something. Alright, screw it. If they won't join us, they die. Since our card user is currently slightly bleeding out on the ground, and I apparently didn't bring enough revives to make this happen. We're just going to go ahead and wrap up the fight instead of trying to catch him. So yeah, seems a bit small town syndrome too. Not really. In that particular case, this was a town that actually that's actually a pretty decent size. Alright, if she can get away from this guy, there's a small chance to make it out of this. I think we go over here, we block this tile. Hopefully he doesn't have the movement to make anything else work. Hopefully he gets hit by the pile, gets finished off, and then we go from there. That guy's at full health, but he doesn't have a whole ton of health. The other unit over there is close to bleeding out, but we should have a couple rounds. Worst case scenario, we replace them. So you don't have anything against Christian faith at all. One of the biggest believers in humanity in general. Just corruption against organization. Exactly, and that's really the most solid way to put it. The organization's screwy. The thing itself has a purpose to be. It's just a matter of what's kind of what's somebody's intent behind letting you know, so to speak. Like again, one of the big, very Florida moments growing up was just like as soon as you heard somebody mention their religion, that conversation's a write-off, because you know it's about to become about how great they are. Alright. Go ahead and counter on you. I just noticed, is Singing Lady unconscious? Because if Singing Lady's unconscious, that might give us something. Considering we keep consistently only having 2 units that can be deployed, I'm feeling like we might as well just continue on if that unit ends up getting bled out. Either way, let's go ahead and separate the chickens. Cluckety-cluck. Or cluckety-cluck goes, I don't know, deadity dead? That doesn't rhyme at all. Alright. Let's Foolery, get the noisemaker out. Honk a horn, get MP, as you do. Alright. Let's see, I remember a situation in school once. We had panels in the room about how to cave in due to water damage. When I saw the inside of the teacher's lounge once, it was noticeably higher scale. When I visited some type of school board administration office type place, it was blocked by the rest of the text box. Alright, here's the deal. You go over here. I'm not even going to look at the turn order. There's a small chance, a very small chance, that you see Shanti hard enough to save the situation. I guess we just sort of attack this one. Hopefully that'll be enough to put them into runaway and heal range, and then hopefully the sea shanty goes well enough to give us those rations, which will get our soldier back up on her feet. Hopefully. Which will then mean that we're in control of this fight again and maybe can capture some stuff. We'll see. See, this one feels way better paced, though, than the last one. I don't know what the hell happened with that last one, because it's really been an outlier compared with the rest of this. Right. Perfect. We actually can save her after all. So we go over here, get the revive going. Like, this feels very nice right now. This feels perfectly paced. I know it feels like it's meant to be a little bit more free than the last one. But anyway. So whenever we visit one of the fanciest buildings I've ever seen, I definitely believe that. Alright. I don't know how you're going to make that fight, but card him. Perfect. Now we can get the setup going. So what we need is debuff guy can continue. Chicken needs to gets punched. Punch you. Get dark going. They're already darked, but this will help out a little bit. I'm less worried about the debuff bat over there. This should get them into low range. Surprised that the crit decided just not to high roll that time. Yeah, let's just go ahead and punch out the chicken, and then we revive and kill one at a time. At one point it was a no-kill shelter, now it's an all-kill shelter. Okay. Let's see, Rufus was cracked. Yeah, I'm shocked that it was like that. Because, like, the fights before that were like this one, where it's like, it's difficult, but doable. Rufus was on something. Like, to me, if they are doing the, if they are doing what I think they're doing in terms of, like, you come back in each New Game Plus cycle, and then there's some new interaction along the way, because that's what I was told that they actually do here. If that's going to be the case, then, yeah, we might have something very interesting on our hands here. Like, for example, if you end up going and recruiting him a second time around or something. Because from what I was told, it just kind of opens up more and more with each playthrough. Alright, let's see. Full health at the moment. And you've actually got rations. So what we need is to ration you. We'll go ahead and get a little bit of health out of this. Rationate. You get on your feet, give us some more MP, therefore give us some more rations, therefore give us some more recovery to hopefully make this all happen. Sea Shanty needs to happen over here, please. Sea Shanty. And then hopefully we still have the means to recover Z-Cow. In fact, okay, he's silenced, apparently. Let's go ahead and punch this dude a little bit, because the cow looked like they were special to some degree. Let's see, there's always that one generic unit in every game that is insane. Very, very true. Unless it's spell sealed, then it's basically 50% of the random generics you run into. You're suddenly going to come in with the ability to completely annihilate your entire face. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, random knight over there just decided to have an MP shield. He suddenly casts every debuff on you at the same time. Just happens to have like 90% crit rate and is also double attacking with one for all with like double longbows somehow. How'd he manage to make that happen? God only knows. I don't think there's any way to actually double longbow, but you know what? You know the AI would somehow find a way to make it happen. Like, the kinds of synergies and crap that the AI would come up with in Felseal is ridiculous. I love it. Alright. They stole our whatever that is. It looked like a sprinkler or something. Now, I'm hoping Crossbow Lady can just go ahead and... yeah, there we go. Should be able to go here. That crossbow shot should be able to land here. Emphasis on should. 89%, basically 0. Either way, turned into a card. Okay, we have one more chicken that we can actually acquire over there. So for the time being, we need you over here, just in case he decides to attack, or we can go ahead and use one of our very limited blood vials. Just want to be safe here. Speed can be such a big spike when you're making a more difficult game. Abso-frickin-lutely. Alright. This guy can just barely make this happen. Now here's hoping that the chicken doesn't completely screw us over, because he can very easily go to the back there, stand next to this dude, and we're toast. Unless we go right here. That's sounding pretty good. You go over here, you go ahead and make yourself some chicken dinner. Bok bok. Yay, they become a card. Alright, this feels a little bit messed up, but whatever, it is what it is. Haven't played Felseal in a while, but I remember I was cut off. Let's see, a samurai that just obliterated my party on a random map. Yeah, like, that's the thing. I love the FFT formula in general, but it always kind of had a... how would I even describe it? I would say it almost feels a little bit too loose at times, in terms of just kind of like what you can get away with. And specifically, some of that speed stuff is exactly why. So, like, for example, in Felseal, for those that never played it, usually when it comes to speed stuff, there's going to be specific ways, like specific skills for speed stuff. Like, let's say you've got like a lightweight unit that's running something like initiative, so that you can like make a unit that already has the fastest speed in the entire thing, but they can also change their passive into one that allows them to take an instant free turn at the start of the game. So as soon as the fight starts, they take one turn, and then they take their second action immediately, so they can just position themselves on the other end of the map, and that becomes part of their loadout. Or let's say you combine that in with something like a quick fingers build that goes and interacts with a map along the way, so that they can, like, say, set off multiple traps or whatnot along the way, or maybe go and in the case of one of the maps later on, they can basically hit a lever to delete half the map. Like, you know, the FFT Sluis map, like Felseal has a version of that, except using the right combination of skills, you can basically just turbocharge your unit all the way to the other end of the map, turn on the Sluis, and just delete half their party immediately. But either way, there's a bunch of stuff like that I love Felseal for, but all the speed stuff specifically is locked in such a way that you have to be abusing skills to make it happen. Anyway, love how their bonus thing is only 600 extra bucks. You've unlocked Triple Triad in the minigame section of the journal. Neato. Alright. Anyway, I'm gonna have to wrap this up pretty soon because I gotta get to doing other stuff today. It's kind of looking right about that moment where I was hoping for some folks to hopefully be showing up at their houses. I don't know if anybody's ever gotten suckered into buying one of those rainbow machines ever. But it was a case where we had enough people signed up to potentially get one for free, and frankly, we were already considering getting one anyway because they're really good for dogs and whatnot. But, like, inhumanely expensive, quite frankly. So they have this whole shtick where it's like more or less a pyramid scheme of, like, you get enough people to stare at the stupid thing and you get it for free. And it just wound up being a handful of folks short, and now I gotta awkwardly ask the neighbors if anybody has time to talk about a frickin' vacuum. Anyway. Alright, we're gonna at least see the next cutscene at the very least. Let's see, what have you got to learn here? Okay. He can learn that one thing. Let's see, card, gain XP up. Gained XP up I'm a little bit sketchy on right now, because it feels like it would scale up on you. Okay, reverse light spear technique, dealing huge damage. Will miss unless blind, and if blind does... Okay. That is frickin' fascinating. I want that. Let's look at the rest. Ride lightning, crash into an opponent with a lightning bolt. Top-down target, interesting. Alright, become transparent. That seems very specifically useful, but maybe for later. Arcs of lightning around you. One vertical, 3 physical. What? What did they mean, 1 vertical, 3 physical? What the hell? Did you mean, like, a lateral or something? What is that? Mr. Cow, you're a resident FFT expert. Explain, what the hell is 1 vertical, 3 physical supposed to mean? Alright. See, stun edge, ball of lightning. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, it's supposed to be. I see what it is. Apparently the range just got put in the wrong spot. That's what's going on there. Nova wounds enemy with a small eruption of energy. Has a chance to strike twice. That feels kind of random, but also I got the points for it, so let's roll that random. Right. Defense up, maybe. A save, maybe. Challenge feels like it'd be amazing, but let's save that for the time being. Soldier Man, what can you learn? You can learn card. I mean, I feel like we should probably be putting card on everybody. If nothing else, because it's just a 4-letter word, and sometimes you need some of those in your life. Let's see, Nighthawk. Sure. And Backdraft, sure. Those are very expensive abilities. It's weird how everything is just entirely backwards. The hell was that? Okay, I'm gonna have to wrap it up there for now. There was some kind of power surge just now, and okay, that just ended up screwing up exactly what screens are on what here. Hold on. Rusted Sprinkler, 15% chance of tetanus. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the strength battery seems interesting. We're gonna go ahead and do that. So that's basically one physical up, but he can only move one tile at a time, which is just super weird, but whatever. We'll give it a shot. Alright. Let's see. Physical lightning. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay. Something Diablo. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this real quick, and then I'm gonna show the next cutscene, and then I'm gonna go see what on earth just happened. As to why on earth there's just a random power surge right now of all times. City Urban. Okay, so what happens here? At the very least, we can see what happens next. Even if I gotta go wrap the thing up for now. Everybody dies, apparently. Okay, so apparently getting invaded by just monster units everywhere. Good to know. Okay, so we won't really have the time to do another fight right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to reset it real quick. I'm going to try Triple Triad, and then we're going to go from there. Let's reset it. Then we'll attempt to do a Triple Triad thing real quick. For the moment, it seems like everything is mostly still alive here. Yeah, weather's not showing anything crazy today, and I'm not seeing any rain out there. That is concerning. Anyway. Alright. But I mean, so far, I would definitely say this mod is definitely worth pursuing if you like FFT. It's super weird. It definitely feels like a fun fever dream of all this stuff. But this definitely feels more... I don't know how to describe it. Feels fun, anyway. Aside from that one fight, it's been an absolute treat, so, you know, there's that, too. Though it is a little bit weird that we're still in the introduction about 2.5 hours later, but hey, you know. It's gonna be like that sometimes. At least it's a fun time, you know? Anyway, let's go ahead and see what this, thingamajig looks like. Let's go do some minigames. Love how there's more than one minigame. Alright. And opponents vary based on location on the world map. That's interesting. Need some sort of Monster Hunter. Apparently they made a Monster Hunter mobile game or something. But it's a mobile game, so... they didn't actually make a Monster Hunter game. Like, I was confused as hell when we had some relatives that were super into Pokemon Go and stuff. It's just like, does it really kill you to take turns? Do we gotta just mash the same button? Alright, so let's go take a look at our deck builder here. What do we got? We got a Ramza, apparently. We got a Float Eye, we got a Bull Demon. place one of these. Chicken is 4-4. What are we looking at weakness-wise? I think we got all the parts covered. I just wanted to kind of... 4-1-4-1. Feels like that... It feels like that goblin could be something else. Chapter 1 Ramza is what exactly? 3-3-3? Okay, that sucks. We're gonna need... Just give me anything else. We're not doing 3-3-3. It's exactly generic cards. Sound like a perfect way to lose. Let's see, set rules. Oh, shoot. Alright. We're just gonna leave them as standard. This is gonna do exactly the FF8 thing where different rules start traveling around, isn't it? Okay, I love that. I never understood it in FF8, but I always appreciated that that detail existed. Okay, so they move first, and what do we got here? So 6-1. A little bit of a shame that we don't get the actual music here, but oh well. Anyway, let's go ahead and take that one. Alright, they're gonna take that. We don't have a good answer for that, unfortunately. Actually, that entire right side, we're pretty solidly hosed. Let's see here. Now, if I recall correctly, you can flip them multiple directions, right? So if I put this here, does this flip the one to the right of it too? No. We need one that can counter multiple. I mean, this would win against this one, which should hopefully not be able to counter the one on the right there, or on the top there. Okay, so that was technically a tie. Is this Yu-Gi-Oh? No, it's Triple Triad. It's the FF8 minigame. Supposedly there's other minigames in here too. I don't know what the other ones are. Alright. Well, fine. I guess we'll take a turn or something. There we go. Take that corner. How are we not going to have the actual music, though? Like, feels weird that that's where they would draw the line. I feel like that's a bit of a bad play, but let's see. But basically, the shtick is, at least in this current rule set, you put down a card, you try to beat the cards of the unit around it, and you try to trap them into losing a turn, more or less. Kind of like that one, actually. Let's see. Because if we take this one and they can't counter the last one, then we basically win it. Now, I forget if a match wins the overall matchup or not. Because the problem is this one is... Actually, no. If we put this one over here, we should be safe. Especially if he decides to take that top card. Yep. That's a win. Neat. So now we get one of theirs. So we now get additional cow powers, I guess. Although... Yeah, sure. Interesting fart noise that it takes it away from. Was that even English? I don't know. I don't think it counts. Anyway, I gotta wrap it up for the day then. So here's the general deal here. If you want to go check out this mod, just look up Reach of the Future. It's a just really darn fun mod. Obviously, not the greatest for attempting to stream here, as we've been kind of stuck in in exactly one map for the vast majority of this time. Rufus is freaking insane. And yeah, there should be one more opening before I have to stop streaming again for a while. Which the plan is to do some Armored Core stuff. So that's kind of the general idea here. Probably going to end up doing a blenderizer, which is basically like a randomizer of all parts, missions, arena fights, what have you. Personally, I find it to be a really fun rule set, but it never was terribly popular. But either way, if that sounds like your kind of jam, we'll attempt it tomorrow. Other than that, y'all have yourselves a good one. Take care. Thank you for stopping by. And,